spin. Let's go. I'm about to take you on a ride.
Tranquility Base here. The Eagle has landed.
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the Grass Valley Podcast. Today we got a really special guest. What's up, Coach Kyle?
Hey, thanks for having me. This is first time on this podcast, but I've done a handful of them before on Welcome to Smartsville and the Cigar Lounge podcast.
Yeah,
so this
totally.
is cool getting on another local podcast, talking about a little bit of sports on this Super Bowl Sunday preview.
Yep.
Very nice.
Yep, that's what we're about to do, ladies and gentlemen. So thank you for coming. And so this is the first time we've really met.
Yeah, kind of seen each
Kinda,
other
sorta,
in
yeah.
passing and everything. The football games are kind of chaotic, especially after the games, because there's so many people to talk to, whether it's parents, players, figuring out next week, figuring out where the following coaches' meetings are going to be and everything. But I recognize a lot of people's faces, but it just sometimes I don't get that quite like firsthand.
It's funny recently.
Introductions and everything afterwards.
Yeah. It's funny lately I've been meeting a lot of people that have lived in this town their whole life that have heard of me, that I've heard of them. It's like we're just now meeting. A lot of that happening recently. At Project Heart, a lot.
Yeah, I think that happens a lot around Nevada County. You recognize people's faces, but
Your kids start going to school together, and then you start meeting people you didn't meet in high
for
school.
sure. I mean,
hang out with.
you could go to high school with somebody 4 years and kind of recognize them, and then your kids become their kids' friends, and then you become good friends with them. It's just funny how that works.
Yep.
You know,
Small world, too.
Yeah, I think my graduating class had 1,000 kids in it. So,
Yeah.
so it's like I don't think NU's at that numbers anymore. But
No, not at all.
Damn,
but yeah, there
that
was
is a lot.
Yeah, 1,000 kids.
Damn.
So it's like, yeah, I've heard of you, but that's just small town stuff. I've heard
Totally.
of you, but never met
yeah,
you.
it's enrollment for NU and Bear River now. Them combined is less than what NU had when we were going there.
Oh, damn.
Because you have two half-empty high schools now.
Yeah, that's
compared
crazy.
to it used to be two overflowing high schools because there's just less kids in Nevada County now.
Yeah. That's kind of cool, though. I mean, maybe they're not a powerhouse as much at, like, sports. I know Bear River in the recent years has been done super well in their division or whatever.
Yeah, they benefited from losing students because they dropped down a couple divisions.
Yeah.
So now they didn't have to play like Placer Del Oro anymore. When NU dropped down a couple divisions, but they're still having to play those Placer and Del Oros type of deal.
Yeah, but I think it's kind of cool because, like, when I went to high school, it was hard to even get on, the team and get playing time and all that because there was so many just badass kids.
Yeah, when the freshman players would come out first day of practice, there'd be 100 freshmen.
Yeah.
And now a big team's first day's got maybe 40. You know?
Exactly. Yeah, it's crazy.
Man, it's so fun watching them. It's so fun watching the
the
games.
high school
football
football players.
Yeah, it's so fun watching those guys.
Well, it's good for kids to do something hard too because it's gotten so easy to do nothing now with internet in Nevada
God.
County. You don't even have to leave your house to go to the grocery store to visit with friends, whether it's online gaming or you could have a girlfriend that you never even meet. Like all virtual and stuff.
That's sad.
It is, but it's people are starting to become so sedentary that playing football and doing something hard has now put you in a another stratosphere of like, wow, you were actually a player. You actually did it.
Yeah.
Because it's so easy now to be like, oh, I got air conditioning at home. Why would I leave? Yeah.
No shit.
Being
So
mom.
I commend those guys and everyone out there doing something.
They're the ones
getting
that
involved.
get comfortable with being uncomfortable. You know?
Exactly.
I commend you too for stepping up, and being a coach, helping those kids and leading them and guiding them, man. That's big.
Well,
You're over 10 years now, right? Or
yeah, it's been I
Nice.
did it for 6 years as a head coach before the pandemic, and now this will be my 6 years post. So 13 total because I was assistant coach 1 year.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's been a long time. And I enjoy it. As long as it's still fun, I'll keep doing it.
Yeah.
And also they pay good, right? According to the parents, are like, oh, they pay you well to do this, right? I'm like, what?
Money.
Who's
Money?
getting paid?
Yeah, who's getting paid around here? Yeah.
What grade or what level are you coaching right now?
So I coach it's the 6, 7, 8 year olds. So it goes from kindergarten all the way through 4th grade, depending on where their birthdays fall. But the cool thing about doing the age that I do is when the kids enjoy doing it at a young age, they keep playing. So now there's a kid I've coached on every level all the way through seniors in high school.
Dude, start them young. Yeah.
Start them young, yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah, like some people are like, wow, that guy's a good martial artist. I wonder why he's so good. And then you see videos of them doing it when they're 3 years old. It's like, well, of course he's good because he's got those 10,000 reps.
Yep.
And, he just kept doing it.
Yeah.
And I think football is the same way. Like, it's hard to learn how to tackle if you've never made a tackle,
Yeah. You're tackling funky.
For sure. Yeah. Because so many people is like, oh, football, just throw and catch, right? I'm like, no, there's a lot more to football than that.
A lot more, especially nowadays with all the rules and it's a lot more.
Yeah, there's guys who play football their whole lives and never touch the ball.
Plays?
Like as an offensive lineman or a defensive lineman, when you think about it.
Practicing plays and getting the whole entire team to be in sync with each other, like ducks flying up in the sky.
Yeah.
You got to be all ready. You got to, and the eyes on the ball.
Well, that's why, like back in the day when the Pro Bowl was actually not a joke, like it is now when it was an actual game, the D linemen always got the MVPs of the Pro Bowl because the offensive lines weren't in sync in a week, you know what I mean? So even though they're all Pro Bowl offensive lineman players, it's like, I'm not used to you going right when I'm going left, and there'd be these big holes. So the D linemen are just, feasting on those quarterbacks.
Yeah.
Steve Young said the hardest he ever got hit was in a Pro Bowl, which is funny to think about now.
Yeah.
Because a quarterback now are like, no, I'm going golfing. I ain't going to the Pro Bowl. And fuck that. I don't want to get hurt and possibly lose my big payday next year,
Well, I'm going golfing.
And they took it. They've taken the fun out of it. I mean, it used to be in Hawaii. Now it's in Florida, or does it move around?
Now it's wherever the Super Bowl is.
Is it already over?
They did it on the Tuesday this week.
McCaffrey
in like a warehouse. They didn't even do it in a stadium. They did it in a warehouse because it's flag football, so you don't even need a 100-yard field.
It's just kind of a joke.
But no, that back when it was in Hawaii, players would take their families, and then the way the Pro Bowl used to work is the winning team got paid twice as the losing team. So guys were incentivized to play hard at the end of the game too, because if they were on the losing team, they were in the negative. Like by the time they paid their hotels and family and flights and everything. So they're like, shit, I need that extra $50,000. So I'm not coming out of here, in the negative. I want to actually either break even or make a little bit. So the fourth quarter got really exciting.
Yeah.
But now it's like such a joke.
And then I can remember when I was in high school, I always liked, they had like the skills competition.
Yeah.
Like quarterbacks throwing at moving targets.
For sure.
And the long
I remember
throw.
that.
And
I remember that.
Yeah, that shit was sweet, dude.
Yeah, that was fun to watch.
Like they've taken all the fun out of the Pro Bowl. It's like, I think I seen Shador Sanders made the Pro Bowl.
Yeah.
It's like, dude, I mean, nothing against him, but he barely played.
Well, and again, the reason why he quote unquote made it is because all the guys
above him
were like, no, I've already been. I don't want to do it.
Yeah.
So someone's got to do it. You know what I mean? And that's the same kind of thing that goes on now with like referees. You get like these really good referees that have been reffing forever, but they're getting older and they're not mobile anymore.
Yeah.
So now the young guys with not a lot of experience are like, you're the head ref now of this crew, and they don't know what's going on.
Yeah.
So like referees have gone, the overall product has gone way down too.
Yeah.
And I think you see that in a lot. I think you see that with the trades. You could have like a journeyman, Mason or whatever, who's been doing it 40 years.
Yeah.
Well, when he retires, if there's nobody behind him as good as him, now the product for the next customer is shitty.
Yeah.
And then they may even have to pay more because it's like, well, it takes that guy longer. More hours of labor because he's not super efficient like the guy who just retired because his body broke down, So it's just, I think it's that way with a lot of things, we don't really have. I think there's a
the passing of the torch is rough.
Yeah, and there's almost like a break in the flow of things right now in our country. It's like people who have been doing it forever are retiring, but there wasn't people below them to learn it as those guys were still around.
Yeah.
And so when those guys are gone, now all those years of knowledge, tricks, everything are just gone. So now the new guys are just figuring it out on the fly.
Exactly. Yeah, this last week I was up in Truckee working, and it was a small construction company, and all three dudes were in their 60s, and they're like, we can't even get a guy in his 20s because he wants to be paid like us. He wants that $40 an hour when he's a 20, 25 hour, which is crazy that starting pay is now 20, 25 because I can remember being at like 10.
Well, now too, like if you're doing like work like that and you're like, that looks miserable. Oh, I can go to McDonald's and work for $20 an hour.
Oh, that's
Why
true.
would I do that? You know what I mean? So
Going
now
back to the air conditioning.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's like shit. I could eat shitty free food on my break, and I'm in air conditioning, and I deal with the occasional asshole customer, but they're in and out real fast, compared to if you're miserable on a crew all day for the same amount of money, you're like, whoa, why wouldn't I go over there instead of here?
Yes, that's true. But they were saying like, once, there's no one, everyone wants to be paid the same. No one actually wants to work. Part
of me thinks though that because when we were in school, our teachers were like, oh, you go to school and get a college degree so you don't have to do a quote unquote dirty job. You know what I mean? So because there's been this big war of getting your hands dirty for a living. Ooh, you don't want to do that. Your parents did that. You don't want to do that. But now those same teachers are like, man, I can't find a roofer. It's like, yeah, no shit, because you told the whole generation of kids not to do that, to go to college and get a degree, which they did, and they got a degree in some bullshit that doesn't matter, So now their egos are inflated because they're like, well, I need to make $30 an hour to pay my student loans. And the people who are hiring them are like, that's not my problem. You know what I mean? So now there's just this big, because student loan debt's the only debt you can't bankrupt from.
Oh,
you can bankrupt from any other debt except for student loan debt.
Oh, I didn't realize that.
Yeah, so people are just, there's people who have never paid them off, and then their Social Security is getting docked to pay their student loans debt back. Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, for their, gender studies degree that they never used. You know what I mean? For some bullshit.
Yeah.
Well, it's like that whole thing with Brandon Ayuk, dude. Or you spend a bunch of money on something, you want something out of it, right? I mean, what are you getting for this money, all this money? And it's like Brandon Ayuk, he did all that bullshit, played all those games for that more extra, what was it, like an extra little, I don't even know how much money it was, but then he got hurt, didn't do, sorry, my coffee machine.
That's crazy, it picks it up.
I know, I'm going to, the podcast is going to be in a different location soon, no birds, no background noise, it's going to be a lot more clear.
I kind of like the background noise though when I'm listening.
Yeah, a lot of people say
it
that.
It kind of puts you in here,
Yeah. A lot of people say that, but for me, I'm just cautious of annoying people. You never know. Those fucking birds, man. They throw me off my thought process.
They did the other day for sure. Yeah, when they were flying around going crazy.
They're anyhow. But yeah, when they paid Brandon Ayuk all that money. And then he just instantly is hurt, and he was a prick about it. It's like, dude,
holding out.
You got, and then there's McCaffrey or Kittle. It's like, I don't care. I'm going to play for this team. Pay me less so that we can, you know what I mean? It's like,
well, it's greed. Funny. It's so funny how there's certain positions in the NFL specifically that are that way, like receivers and cornerbacks, their egos get so big because
and then every other receiver wants the same. He got that. Now I want that. No, I'm going to play that game too. And but then you make all those problems with the coach and the team, and then there's bad energy.
Yeah.
And then that fucking affects that Super Bowl ring, God damn it. Look at us. Look at us. We are not in the Levi's Stadium today, ladies and gentlemen. That's bullshit.
Do you think that they're
Go 49ers.
That they're practicing next to that substation with all the EMFs? Do you believe
so
that?
It's funny. It's funny. Super Bowl week this week. Jed York, who's the owner of the Niners, he's Eddie DeBartolo's nephew, which he's
shit.
Nepotism. He got handed the team from his uncle Eddie.
Yeah.
Because his uncle Eddie had to sell for you could look it up. There's some gambling shit dirty. Going on.
Damn.
But anyway, Jed York was like, we've been practicing there since the '80s and we never had any problem. But it's like, yeah, Jed, but back then that substation
wasn't there. Was it?
Well, it was there, but the knob was turned way down compared to now because there wasn't a stadium there yet that all that extra energy needed to go to.
Yeah.
And then also people didn't have internet back then. I mean, think about just how much more power it takes now just to power people's lives, with your electricity. So
cancer, all that shit.
Everything. And I think that we may look 50 years from now and go, can you believe that team used to practice next to that thing? Just like, 50 years ago, we look back 50 years ago and we go, can you believe people just used to smoke indoors and with their kids in the car and, and to put asbestos on their house.
Yeah, I was going to say lead paint,
asbestos. I wouldn't be surprised because people now are like, oh, Niner fans just making excuses. But I think Niner fans are the point where they're like, this is weird.
Dude, there's this guy I follow. I think he calls himself, he's totally into carnivores. He's carnivore. His name's Paul something, but I think he's Dr. Carnivore or something. And he did a thing on it, these guys like injuries, ruptured Achilles are like 9, and the whole other league is like 2.
Yeah.
And that's like the normal two a year, and they're like up at like 9 on their team.
Yeah.
It's like,
So I
damn.
have been going through lots of stuff, so I haven't been paying attention to any of that. So
I mean, I know every year for like the last 3 years, the Niners are just depleted.
Since 2017, since Kyle Shanahan took over, and he's been doing the same thing that his dad did with the Broncos in the 90s.
Yeah.
They've had the Niners' injuries are just like
No, I'm with you on
unbelievable,
that. That's
quadruple the next closest team.
Yeah,
you know,
yeah. It's crazy.
And everybody and like players when they leave the Niners, they're like, we're not really. It's not like they're grinding us in the dirt there, you know.
Yeah.
And so like people are starting to be like, maybe this substation right next door, there's some truth to that, you know.
maybe.
holy shit.
Because whatever kind of meter you could put next to the practice field, like normally this meter, like if you're walking down the street, picks up a number of like 1.5, you know, like just the natural electricity, not natural, but the electricity now that's normal that goes through everywhere that we go through Wi-Fi and everything. Well, you hold this thing next to a practice facility, it's like 11.5.
Yeah.
And you go to the game field, it's like 10.5. So it's like, you know, there's something.
Yeah, I hear a lot of people being like, and I haven't done any research, but like turn your Wi-Fi off at night.
Oh,
like,
for sure.
Like, turn that router off.
I guess Christian McCaffrey's been doing that like even before he was with the Niners.
Really?
You know, so.
And I guess that reduces your EMF levels or whatever.
Electromagnetic fields.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah, it's real. It's out there.
it's
You
supposed
can't
to
see it, but
dehydrate
there's
you.
Yeah,
you know?
there's electrons and electrodes and atoms floating through the air.
Because like normal
Waves.
people who aren't, you know, Olympic style athletes like the NFL players are, it probably affects us a little bit, but not like them.
That Wi-Fi
Yeah.
shit.
But like with them, you know, even if it makes your muscle say 10% weaker. I mean, when you're playing in the NFL game, 17 games a year, over time, that could be the difference between tearing an Achilles and not. You know what I mean?
You know, I wonder if
That's crazy.
I wonder if that place I ripped my knee where I was dancing in Vegas, maybe high EMF out there.
Maybe.
There's going to be some serious
never know.
lawsuits probably.
I'm gonna
here.
have to ask Blake Shelton.
I think you were more a decommissioned athlete where you're like, oh, I could do this shit. I've been doing it for years. They actually do say males in their 30s.
Oh,
because our brains are like, we still got it, but our bodies are like, no, you don't.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
like, there's like the flag football league around here. Walter Ford.
Oh, yeah.
He goes, oh yeah, once a year somebody tears an ear and Achilles.
Yep.
Because it's like, I'd compete with these high school players that guys that just graduated,
Yeah.
and
Oh,
maybe they
yeah.
can for a week or two, but throughout
Yeah.
the whole year, your knee's just gonna give out.
I remember the first year. I think it was the first year Walter did that. Delano wanted to play, and he got SPD to sponsor it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so SPD because they do softball every year.
Uh-huh.
What Brock does, and and I went out one game. And I think I fucking tore something just from stretching. Dude. I was stretching.
Yeah.
I was doing butterflies, and I was like, damn, dude. Or maybe it was just running. I was just like, dude, that fucking ripped something. I'm sore. I played like 2 more games, and then I was like, you know what? I have work to do. I can't be.
It's the your mind's telling you yes, but your body's telling you no.
Yeah.
Yep.
And then it was funny. I went and worked out with my. He's my nephew, my brother's stepkid, but he's 19, and he's like, "Let's get up at 5," and I'm all, "Yeah, that sounds great. I got a lot of stuff to do." Yeah, 5:00, and I went and worked out with him, and I'm driving home, and he's just full of piss and vinegar and fucking, and I'm just like, "Yep." You're 19, and I'm definitely feeling 35 when I'm around you, man. And then last night it was funny because we were setting off of we just had a bunch of little burn piles, and he's climbing up in trees like bear hugging them and climbing up, and I'm like, damn, dude, to be 19 again, full of whatever you got.
Oh yeah, all that testosterone. Well, they say in societies, and this is why the military goes after young guys. The most dangerous, like moldable people in societies are like 17 to 22-year-old males.
Yeah, that would make
because
sense.
their brains aren't fully developed yet. So they're like, this sounds like a good idea, you know. Compared to like, and that's why so many people join the military for 4 years, and after 4 years, when they're like in their early 20s, they're like, I don't know if I want to be the guy that goes through the desert and looks for bombs anymore. You know?
Yeah.
I think I'm good. I survived 4 years. I think I'm out. You know,
Yeah, I think I'm all
type
right.
of deal.
Yeah.
Interesting. Yeah. That shit's crazy, man. War. Just the idea of that.
The whole
It's a whole
concept,
nother-
it's
whole
kind of
nother-
crazy, yeah.
So,
Amazing
yeah.
too that there's like rules in war too. It's like all the countries
I
have got
know.
together. It's like, we can't use this gas anymore. And they're all like, all right. But it's like,
Deal.
What the
it's
fuck?
Why
like,
don't we
yeah,
ju-
but you could do anything else. You,
You
cut
know,
someone's
we
head
just
off, but
shoot
you
each
can't
other
use
and
nerve
fucking-
gas or
Yeah.
whatever they did in World War One, in the
yeah.
trenches.
Yeah.
I sure am just, the world, man. This is there's a lot of craziness. Mm-hmm. Seriously.
Not an easy time, I guess.
It's
But
It's always been crazy.
time
Yeah,
right now.
yeah.
It just makes you wonder what, like, because 10 years ago doesn't seem like that long ago when the Super Bowl was in Levi Stadium last time. Mm-hmm. And it's like, well, the next 10 years is going to go by quick too. And I wonder, like, how much Nevada County's changed in the last 10 years,
Yeah.
how much it's going to change again in the next 10 type of
It-
deal.
Yeah, I think our small town is, not becoming not a small town.
It's almost becoming like a Roseville-ish, Bay Area-ish, type
Yeah,
of deal.
I definitely get the Auburn feel is here, just by what and then, dude. I mean, I don't want to sound. I mean, I sound like an old man, but dude, if you're leaving Grass Valley going to Penn Valley, and it's like that.
The Gap? We call it the Gap.
The rush hour, dude. You will be clear back.
Oh, okay.
Past the fucking
Yeah, they need to
Western
make more
Gateway
lane.
Yeah.
Park.
Yeah.
You'll be at the baseball fields waiting for that light by Chevron,
yeah.
Oh, I
or it's
believe
not
it.
even Chevron anymore.
I just
but
recently
the locals know
experienced
Chevron.
that. Yeah.
Dude, and you're like in that line for, it might be 2 minutes, but it seems like 10 minutes.
It
Like,
reminds me of Hawaii.
I'm like,
Oh, really?
Yeah, there's just one lane, or 2 lanes,
Uh-huh.
this way, that way, and you're just stuck. You can't pass nobody.
you can't do jack shit.
You can't do nothing but just stay in the herd and the cattle.
Yeah. So, yeah, and that's like that in Penn Valley. I mean, maybe they can make it 2 lanes and make it better, but it's like, where do I'm already in Smartsville. I don't feel,
Well, it already has 2 lanes going down. I don't see why they shouldn't just
Like going down
keep
Pet
it.
Hill?
right
Yeah.
by the gateway, Western Gateway Park.
Oh, yeah.
right on the
Wildwood.
baseball fields,
Yeah.
so in between Taco Shell and Chevron.
I'm sure that could be
That's
expanded wider.
Yeah.
I would
It'd still be slow, bro.
It still would be,
It would.
Well, you know what would happen is they would make it wider and then it'd be too fast and they put a roundabout in right there, like what they did on 49.
Oh my God!
No, I'm
2
being
of them
I'm
on
being
49.
serious.
I just seen those the
Which,
other
I
day.
mean, if part of the roundabout where you could get into the baseball field, that would be so bad.
Oh, that'd be cool.
You know what
yeah.
I mean?
Yeah.
Like another entrance. So like last year when when it washed out, they had to use somewhere else.
Yeah.
If there was a roundabout into where you could get to it on the freeway.
Yeah.
You wouldn't have to worry about that in the
Here,
future.
here. Coach Kyle solving
Dude.
Penn Valley problems, dude.
lacing our boots today.
Yeah. So we came here. So I was just talking to shout out Tyler Cox, Ryan
Yeah.
Cox's brother. I seen him at Happy's in Penn Valley, and I was like, "Who's winning today?" And he is he's a Raiders fan, so he's hoping for the Seahawks because he naturally doesn't like the Niners.
Well,
and so he wants the Seahawks to win the Super Bowl in the Niners Stadium.
Well, it's funny you say that though, because back in the day, the Raiders and Seahawks used to be both in the AFC, so they were division rivals back then.
Yeah.
When in 2002, when the NFL added Houston as another expansion team, they went to 32 teams, so they had like 15 in one league and 17 in another league. So they're like, well, someone's got to switch. And Seattle's like, we'll switch because they got tired of, going to Denver, Kansas City, Oakland,
Yeah.
So now they're a little more West Coast because they got to go to San Francisco, LA, and Arizona.
Yeah.
So the travel for them is a little easier.
Yeah.
But since they've been in the NFC, the Seattle's done really well.
They have,
Because
yeah.
they never pissed a drop in the AFC.
No.
So it's funny though that because, and I don't know what your guys' opinions are, but my opinion is the Niners and Raiders are not a rivalry, and I'll explain it to you. I think just because you're
They're
next,
family.
well, that's the thing is just because you're next to somebody doesn't make you a rival. Like when I was in high school, and it was a little different than when like you guys were in high school, but when I was in high school, we played Yuba City one time in 4 years, so I didn't see that as a rivalry because. One game in football in 4 years is like, we're not going to get behind that compared to like other teams where we play them every single year and then possibly run into them in the playoffs again.
Yeah.
That was more of a rival.
Makes more sense.
And the Niners and Raiders are NFC, AFC, so they only are guaranteed to see each other once every 4 years.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. So it's not.
So, but it's funny how they call themselves a rival, even though if you look at the whole AFC West, including Seattle Seahawks, who used to be in the AFC West, the Niners have played every AFC West opponent in the postseason except for the Raiders.
Oh,
Because the
okay.
Raiders and the Niners have never been good enough at the same time to run into each other in the playoffs. You know,
yeah.
I mean, now the Niners and Seattle have played each other in the wild card round of the playoffs, the divisional round, and the NFC Championship round.
Yeah.
The Niners have played the Chiefs in the Super Bowl twice, the Chargers in the Super Bowl, the Broncos in the Super Bowl, you know, but they've never played the Raiders in any postseason.
Yeah.
So in my opinion, it's like just because you're right next door to somebody and you play them every once in a while, it doesn't really make that a rivalry because there's nothing behind that.
Yeah.
Now, like the Giants and the A's, in my opinion, are a rival because they play each other every year in each other's house, and they've played each other in the World Series.
Okay.
You know, so
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
like that makes sense.
Yeah.
But Niners and Raiders now, especially now that they're in Vegas, it's like, well,
Not
to
even a
me, it's
battle
the
of the
same
Bay
thing
or
as like
anything.
Niners and I don't know, someone else in the AFC. You
Yeah.
know, that you run into once every 4 years.
Yeah.
I mean, you can make the argument that the Niners and the Bengals are more rival than the Niners and the Raiders because the Niners and the Bengals have played each other in 2 Super Bowls.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's just one of those things where it's like,
Yep.
just because you're right next door doesn't make you a rival if you're not going to play each other. You know?
Plus, dude, the Bay, like when I went to the last Battle of the Bay with my cousin, which he's a Raiders fan, I'm a Niners fan.
At Levi Stadium?
Yeah, no, the last Battle of the Bay was in Oakland
No, the last one was in 2018 at Levi's.
with the Niners and the Raiders.
Yeah, that was the game where where like both teams were hurt and like Jimmy Garoppolo tore his knee already, and John Gruden was coaching the Raiders. This is his first year back in Oakland.
Oh, okay, yeah, it was
That was
Kaepernick
2018.
when I went to the.
Yeah, that
to
would have
the-
been
to the
14,
last,
2014.
Okay, thank
Yeah,
you.
yeah. Mhm.
Okay, yeah, so you're right. Hey, I was glad they actually won and we made it out of that place alive. But my point was, here's a wife and a husband, Raider, Niner. Cut me and my cousin, Niner, Raider. I mean, it's the Bay, so like. You're driving through the Bay. You're either going to see someone in a car pass you with a Raider hat on or a Niner hat on.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Or you're going to go to a barbecue and it's all mixed up with all that. You know?
For sure.
Like I always wondered why. What's his name? Dre Dog or Andre Nicotino was a Raiders fan when he was from Fillmore.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I mean, E40 now says he's a Niner fan, even though if you look in his catalog, he was Raider fan back in the day. So,
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh.
He is a Niner fan now.
He was even a Kings fan when they were doing good and the Warriors were shit like 20 years ago. So
Yeah.
So he's a bandwagon. No.
I think he's like a Northern California,
Yeah,
whoever's
Northern
good.
Yeah.
Type of
I like the Sharks.
Yeah.
San Jose Sharks, the Kings, the Giants.
Well, they say the same thing with the
Niners.
Sharks, though. Like, say we all grew up Sharks fans, but then if Sacramento got a hockey team, I'd be like, oh, I've been to a Sharks game. I've rooted for them, but I'm not
Yeah.
rooted with the Sharks.
Yeah,
I
because
root for
I'll go
Sacramento's
Sac,
team
yeah.
because it's right there. You know
Yeah,
what I mean?
because I was a Chicago Bull, Michael Jordan guy my whole life, and then the Kings.
Yeah.
I started watching the Kings. I became a Kings fan.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's the same type of thing. You
Yeah.
know, I think there's like
No hating.
or even like if Reno got a team.
Oh,
I'd be
yeah.
like, well, shit, I'm go up to Reno
No,
and watch
that's
a
an
hockey
idea
game.
right there.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, maybe that rivalry is just the fans are rivals,
I think it is because
but the teams actually
there
are.
and there's always been this weird thing like
Yeah, we're right. They're
Yeah.
rivals.
It's the fan base.
Yep.
yeah. Well, it's funny like when you talk to Niner Raider fans and you say like why are they rivals and their answer is basically like because it's like
Battle of the
because
Bay.
what?
Yeah.
Battle of the Bay. Well, one team's not in the Bay
I've had
anymore.
to
Yeah,
make-
but they used to be. Yeah,
Yeah.
but the Raiders also were gone in LA for a while, and they weren't. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
Coach
it's-
Kyle, I've had to mature a lot over these years, man. No more broken TVs, no more remotes flying through the TV. And my son, like I was telling you earlier before we got on the on air, he's taught me a lot. You know, like you said, but with playing football,
Yeah.
you get a lot more respect for it. You know, understanding. You're not like your dad at home hating on the other team. Like, shut up, quit talking about the Vikings player right now. And he's like,
Hey.
but he's good, Dad. And I'm like, you know what, son, you're right.
Well,
Sorry
and then
about
he
that. I
may,
caught myself like-
he may even look at it like, well, dude, no, Dad, he's a free agent, and we need that guy next
Exactly.
year. You know
Yeah.
what I mean?
Exactly.
Look at things macro, not micro.
See?
You know what I mean? Yeah, look big picture.
Dublin thinks more like Coach Kyle.
Yeah.
Straight up. That's good, dude.
Well, and it's funny too. Like,
It's just a sport. It's a game. It's supposed to be
Yeah.
fun. So, yeah, the NFL and the money and everything takes it and makes it something else.
if you ask Dublin like who's your rival, he'd probably say Placer, right? Because that's
Yeah.
who they play now. But like when we were in high school, we didn't play Placer, but my parents did play Placer in the '80s. So it's one of those things where
Damn.
you know what I mean. So like when my parents hear Placer, they go ugh.
Yeah.
hate
You're
Placer.
rooted, bro.
But like when I hear Placer, I go, oh, we didn't play them. We were like Grant and Granite Bay,
Yeah.
and you know all that. But then when you ask like Archie, he hates Yuba City.
Yeah,
but
yeah.
I never really played Yuba City because by the time I got there, River Valley High School was a new high school built in
yeah.
Yuba City, so Yuba City their enrollment went down. We didn't play them anymore.
Yeah.
So I think it's also eras where you grew up.
Yeah.
Like, a young kid now might be like, oh, Niners-Rams is a big rival.
Yeah,
But
that
like
makes a
10
lot of
years ago,
sense.
that might have been Niners-Seahawks was a big rival because the Rams were shitty. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
it just kind of depends.
Yeah.
Yeah, totally. With the time.
And like, I never really disliked Kansas City ever because it was like, oh yeah, it's the team Joe Montana went to when he retired, and their fans are cool and they got good barbecue. But now in the last 10 years, it's like I don't like Kansas City.
You're speaking, you're
So
speaking
it
a lot
changes on
of
eras,
words out of my mouth, man.
And that's kind of one of the reasons why I've never seen Niners and Raiders as a rivalry, because it's
Kyle,
like
was a smart man.
it's like we've never been, in my lifetime at least, we've never been decent at the same time to each other in the playoffs.
You know what? I want to see more Niners versus the Raiders.
Can you imagine Niners Raiders
Super Bowl?
Super Bowl?
Oh, that'd be
that's the only way they could.
Or
meet.
even
badass.
like next year when the Super Bowl's in LA, you'd
Yeah.
be like, ooh, how many? Because the Raiders have a really good fan base in LA,
LA.
but so did the Niners do too.
Yeah,
you
yeah.
know?
True
Like
that.
when the Niners play the Rams, it's like 80% red.
True
Yeah.
that.
And it drives the Rams nuts.
You know what really pisses off the Raiders fans now is that you go to Vegas and it's just full of everybody and anybody.
Well,
not
it's a
many Raiders fans.
destination
Yeah,
now.
it's a
The thing,
destination.
Vegas is like Nashville. It brings in people from everywhere. So there's going to be more opposing fans than your fans. It just
Yeah.
is what it. And same with New Orleans. You know,
Yeah.
when the Saints were bad for years, and the Niners used to play the Saints in the NFC West.
Yeah.
my grandparents would go down there every year, and it's like 70% Niner fans.
Yeah.
Because people from all over the country would. New Orleans is a lot closer than San Francisco. Let's go watch them there.
Damn, our last game with the Seahawks, bro. I mean, that was just blue and green and fucking Seahawk everywhere.
Yeah,
Loud.
that was a
I've
brutal-
never seen that. No shit like that.
I knew that
was a-
game.
I didn't
was
see
a
no
brutal
red.
game.
I didn't see no red. Usually the red shows up,
Yeah.
and they must have just had all those tickets sold.
I think they did because it's
they-
been so long since they've had they've had good teams. Seattle has, but you could definitely tell this year's team was like, "Ooh, there's something."
That was nuts.
Something in the air this year. This is a special team.
Dude,
you know.
yeah.
I felt like we were going to go in there and be able to pull it off.
Well,
Or we,
my-
as
I
them,
did- yeah.
them. Felt like the 49ers were going to be able to pull it off, but that was insane.
My biggest fear was like, as long as the Niners could contain them on special teams, they'll have a chance. And then the opening kickoff, they
Kickoff.
ran it back. I'm like, well, that's probably going to do it. You know, it's like,
Yep.
and the same thing with the Rams. I'm like, if the Rams don't mess up on special teams against the Seahawks, I think they could win. And then they muff that punt return, and I'm like, well, I think Seattle just won it. You know,
Yeah, dude.
it's
And-
the little things in games like that.
Yeah, and like Seattle actually has a pretty good offense, man. I mean,
Yeah.
normally they're not like that. Normally, I mean, they've always been, the Legion of Boom, and their defense is even, good this year. But obviously, I don't watch them a lot because I'm anti-Seahawks because I think it's either 2 or last 3 times, but I know 2 for sure. The last time Redskins have been in the playoffs, the Seahawks knock them out.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm like, fuck the Seahawks.
Fuck them.
Yeah, so it's hard, but so yeah, I think so. I really think the Seahawks will win, but I am going to be rooting for the Patriots, even though even though the Patriots have been, the Patriots have been winning for years, and what they had like just a slight slump, and now they're back to the Super Bowl.
Yeah,
but the dislike, I don't want to say hate, but the dislike for the Seahawks is very much greater. So go Pats.
I know what you're saying.
Go
It's
Pats.
It's like the you want both teams to lose to root for the one.
Yeah,
that you
can it
want
just
to
go in
lose less.
overtime?
Man, I've really come a super long way. You don't want to know what I think, ladies and gentlemen. I mean, once again, shouts out to my son Dublin. I'm very proud of him. He's taught his dad a lot of more maturity, I would say, for the sport through playing. And I'm not as because it's fuck everybody but the 49ers over here.
Yeah.
All of the teams. No. And I'm like a Miller Lite commercial, Kyle. It's like, no, you're out of here. You just talked about that, said good job to that team. Get out. Like, I don't watch the game with my dad. Nobody. It's just me and Dublin. We watch the game. Mm-hmm. And I keep it that way but now I'm getting over that that really feel like I'm helping the team when I'm yelling at them and screaming but then I have a headache, you know, and I'm all drained at the end of the game. And if we lost, it's like, okay, maybe none of that.
I used to always
coming
say,
a long way, man.
I used to always say, "Oh, we lost." I mean, I'm a Redskins fan, but oh, we lost, and they're like, and then someone pointed out one day, "Oh, you were out there playing," and I was like, Oh, fuck you.
Well, sports fans are
Fuck
funny.
you.
It's
and I've always been super
no, this is what
superstitious.
sports fans go. They go, we won. Oh, they lost. It's like, no. If you're gonna say we won, you got to say we lost too.
Yeah.
You know.
How about this part right here? This is where I've learned a lot. Now we're at NU and we're watching the game, and I'm there to support my son and the team, you know. And a kid gets hurt.
Uh-huh.
The kid's down. Everybody's down for that injury.
Oh, yeah,
I
for sure.
fucking find that so admirable.
Good
and I love that.
sportsmanship.
When
Good
they all take a knee. And
Yep,
everything.
I just love the good sportsmanship, and so I've learned a lot about football through that. Going to see my son play. I didn't play football as a kid. I played basketball and baseball, but not football. Although I would have loved to have been I got a good arm, but just watching that's like it's cool when the other team supports the other team when someone's injured. And
Yeah.
it's like, because it is just a sport. It is just a game.
Yep.
And to get all worked up about it, like I have numerous times. When Kaepernick, when we lost to Sherman,
Yeah.
that fucker,
2013.
Oh, I broke that big flat screen TV. Sent the whole catering, hors d'oeuvres and shit out into the front yard.
Yeah.
Sent the family away before they left the house before.
We know what's coming.
And then another TV in this house was my last Sony. It was, and this is embarrassing, but yeah, ladies and gentlemen, it's just a sport. And yeah, Dublin's helped me mature a lot.
No, I get that. It's especially when you see your kid like grow up and play a sport, and you're invested with the people like where you know their names and they know your names. When you start to watch like either college or pro or whatever, you start to go like, yeah, you know, it just doesn't. It's not quite the same. You know
Like
what I mean?
Sherman went and played for the 49ers after that.
Well,
So-
at the end of the day, they're all independent contractors.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
and when they get drafted by teams, they're not picking the team they're drafted by.
Yeah.
So they're like, well, I guess it's who I'm playing for the next 4 or 5 years.
Yeah.
They have my rights, you know.
Yeah, shout out to George Kittle. He's my favorite football
He's
player
cute,
out
dude.
there.
Going back to that superstitious stuff, I just grew up and my dad was superstitious. I mean,
still am.
Just super crazy, like going hunting, everything. But anyways, my grandpa, diehard Niners fan, dude. And when Jack in the Box was giving away little Niners heads, they'd have like a Jack head, you know, Jack in the Box out, and then they had a little Niner football helmet on it, and that was like his little Niner lucky charm, dude. He'd bring it over to my, you know, at the time I was living at my dad's, you know, so he'd bring it over to my dad's house, his son's house, and he'd have to put it right on the top of the TV.
Oh, yeah.
And so my like at a very young age, I you know, learned superstition, dude. Sometimes I'll be sitting there and the team be losing, I'm like, and then all of a sudden I gotta pee. I'm like, this is bad luck pee. I gotta get this pee out. And then, you know, 50% of the time, all of a sudden the team turns it around. Oh, I tried to say on that time. It was that pee. It was that pee.
Yeah, I'll be, and it's all the times I've worn like my Nick Bosa jersey, and then that was the star, the player that. So a lot of that shit fucked with my head.
Yeah.
But it's not. No, like I said,
mean,
getting all worked up and getting angry.
I think it's
and-
bad, but at the same time, it makes it fun, dude.
It
I don't know.
does.
You know, yeah.
But then when you see your kid or your dad, my dad's told me my whole life, lighten up. Like it's just don't get so pissed off, Ryan.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, and then my son, he's just coaching me on all these things, and I'm just like, dude, I almost makes me feel, I don't know a good word for it. Makes me feel like, damn, my son's teaching me, and
almost.
Well, you got to have.
I should be teaching my son these things.
embarrassed. Yeah.
I should be teaching
Yeah.
my son these things.
You got to have like a 24-hour rule in sports. Like win or lose, 24 hours later, you got to move on. Because even as like a coach or a player, you're like, hey, we got another game next week.
Yeah.
So, because sometimes you could lose a game and you could end up losing 2 games because
you're so
you don't let it go.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You got to have short memory.
I can remember
Good shit, dude.
that first year
Good game.
coaching with Coach Adam, what I would have been 33, I think, the first year I coached.
Shout out to Adam.
Yep. And that year, I think poor Adam, but we were all rookies. It was me, Walter, and then Odegaard. And dude, that first game we were losing, and I am just that competitive spirit came back, and I'm pissed, I'm yelling, and both Walter and I were yelling, and the ref looked over and like. He was like, "Hey,
It does work. It does do things.
Yeah.
That energy does. I mean, the
these
crowd
guys
roaring
don't
like the
stop,
Seahawks.
they're out of here." And you know, because it's like, you know, only the head coach is supposed to talk to the ref.
to the referee.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And Walter and I were definitely chirping.
sure.
But at the same time, it was like, dude, that's awesome that I still have that competitive spirit. I hadn't had it in years, dude.
I do notice that because, I've coached with guys who like played all 4 years at NU and lost like 6 games in 4 years total. You know what I mean?
Dude, yeah.
So like when they get to junior minors and it's like, hey man, these are blank canvases. Like we're teaching the sport of football to these guys,
Yeah.
It's not their fault they don't know how to do it because it's like, why would they know how to do it? They're, these are little guys. So it's like, you got to like be patient and like trust the process.
Yeah.
Like I said, look at things more macro than micro. Be like, dude, if at the end of the year, even if we don't win a lot of games, but like,
you see them
like
when
everybody goes, whoa, this looks like a completely different team.
Yeah.
It's like good because that means we're doing something right.
Yeah.
And I don't know. Oh,
Do you see a lot of like when they get into high school, they start doing a little better? Or is it usually 14U?
Yeah, I think the trouble what a lot of kids run into when they hit high school, if they don't have success, is like they develop a lot of habits when they're little that coaches let them get away with, whether it's like whether it's in school with behavior or grades or being disrespectful. And then all of a sudden, maybe when that junior minor coach who they've had their entire junior minor career, they don't have him that anymore, and they got a high school coach. The high school coach might go, I don't know who you are. And, I've got all these other hungry dogs who are learning the game, who got better attitudes. So just like anything, like if you had a business and you had like
or just not putting up with that shit.
Yeah, if you had like a
guy
who done it 10 years and it's like, I got it, I'm going to do it my own way.
Yeah.
And then as a business owner, you might be like, okay, maybe you are doing things a little bit more efficiently, but it's not the way we want to do it around here.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I'd rather have this blank canvas that does it exactly the way I want him to.
A good listener, teachable.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Because if you're just like a I know guy, and then all of a sudden those
There's
guys,
no room for growing.
Exactly, they're stuck in their ways, and it's just like you those guys peak early. If that makes sense,
you can always learn more and more.
Yep.
Didn't you have one of the Herrera brothers coach with you?
Yeah, Ryan Herrera.
He's like he was. I remember when I was going to school. Like he was almost NU royalty because
there
both
two of them.
Yeah, both of them.
Rich and Ryan Herrera. They were like 5'9", 240 each.
Yeah,
there's
dudes
two
were
of them.
badass. Yeah.
Actually, when I went to Yuba College and played with some of those Yuba City guys, who were the same guys that like Delano and Archie got in fights with at Jack in the Box and stuff. Yeah. They were like, I remember those twins. Like we'd think we'd have one stopped, and then we'd remember there was another one. You know what I mean? It's like shit, man.
What year was it, Coach Kyle, when Nevada Union was really kicking ass? That was around like when I was in high school.
Well, so and you went through a 20-year stretch from like 89 to 09 when they were like one of the top public high schools in Northern California. Mm-hmm. But I want to say they peaked probably from like 93 to like probably 05, and then they hit a little bit of a lull like 6, 7, 8, but then 09 they had another good year. Yeah. And since 09 they've only won one playoff game and maybe been to the playoffs a handful of times. So, and they're no longer Division I because the enrollment's so low now. They can't hang with like Folsoms or Granite Bays or anything like that anymore. So now the enrollment's like Placer and stuff like that.
Got it. Like now that social media is like so, just you hear about high school players. I feel like way more.
Yeah,
I didn't realize Folsom was such a powerhouse, and they had that kid Ryder. That's he was a 5-star, but then he went down to a 4-star or whatever, and he's committing to BYU, and
he's going on a mission for 2 years. So by the time he gets done,
I'm going to go play for Folsom State here in a minute.
The rec team. Ryder. He's Mormon and BYU's Mormon.
Sorry.
So what you could do if you do a mission for 2 years, your clock doesn't start yet. So he'll go on one of the islands and just work out, practice football, do the mission thing. I
don't know if I'd want to do that. I just want to.
Well, now though it's almost. Now that college players could get paid through NIL.
Oh, he might get paid just to go.
Yeah, you're not in as much of a hurry to go to the NFL anymore. Because if you're getting paid $5 million a year in college, why would you go to the NFL as a 6th-rounder and get paid $5 million in a 4-year contract? You know what I mean?
That's true.
Dude, are they playing football anymore, or just gambling or playing with money?
It's getting so out of hand.
I'm hearing a lot of money bullshit
NIL,
in the sport.
Yeah. Oh yeah, it used to be like. If you played in college and after a game you went to a fast food restaurant and someone's like, oh, I know who you are. Here's a hookup. Here's $20 of free food. You could lose your scholarship on that. Now you could get millions of dollars through boosters, and it's completely legal.
I think I even
Yeah.
Dude, I think
that's insane.
I know.
I think I even heard. Okay, so I heard
We're learning some
there
shit
was like
today.
this,
Oh, yeah.
but this was basketball, but there was like this 28-year-old guy who didn't go pro, but was super good, and he had like another year or two of eligibility, and he actually went back, and now he's getting paid NIL, making big money, and he's like 28 years old because he had a little bit of eligibility left.
Well, the
and
thing
he never
is,
went completely pro. He was just G League, so if you're G League, you can go back to college, and I'm all, what the fuck is going on,
Which
dude?
sucks for all the kids coming out of high school because now there's a log jam, you know?
Yeah.
It used to be guys would go to college for 5 years, 5 seasons, but you'd play 4 seasons in a 5-year stretch with a red shirt.
Yeah.
Well, now those guys are like staying for 6, 7, 8 years. So now the high school kids are like, well, where's my spot? And they're like, we don't have a spot because the guy who, like Indiana this year, the Indiana Hoosiers, their average age was as old as the Green Bay Packers. Because there's so many guys they had on that team that were like 22, 23, 24, 25 years old, you know? Same thing with the Packers.
Yeah.
But again, those guys are like, well, I'm not in a hurry to go to the NFL because I'm getting paid in college. So, you know, I mean, what's the point?
Yeah, let's try this.
I could be the guy in college and make more than being a guy in the NFL, which is crazy to think about even 10 years ago.
Yeah.
Before NIL.
Dude, yeah. It is crazy. And then, oh, man. I forgot what I was going to say, but yeah, it's wild. The whole college thing is wild. And then just like, and it used to be if you transferred, you're sitting down for a year. Now it's just a wild west.
Yeah, you could transfer 3 times in 3 years now, and not have to sit out.
Yeah.
Well, that's why guys used to go to junior college at bounce back. Because if they went from college to college, they had to sit out a year, kind of like what Baker Mayfield did when he went from Texas Tech to Oklahoma. He had to sit out a year.
Yeah.
Well, but guys like when Cam Newton went from Florida and he wanted to go to somewhere else, he had to sit out a year. He was like, "Well, shit, I'll go playing junior college, win a national championship doing that," and then he went to Auburn after that.
Yeah.
So,
I remember what it was going to be. Yeah, it's just like it's crazy how the NIL has changed. Like, and Bo Nix, you know. Man, that sucked. He broke his ankle because that's a whole. But anyways, Bo Nix is like the same age as a rookie last year. Was like the same age as someone that had been in the league for like 3, like Bryce Young or something. They were in the same. And Bryce Young had been in the league for 3 years.
That
already.
was when it was like Lamar Jackson and Joe Burrow. Like when Joe Burrow got drafted, he was older than Lamar Jackson, and Lamar Jackson had been in the NFL for like 3 years.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So it's weird how all that. I mean, the getting paid. It's like, why do that?
Yeah.
Why go get beat up by like everyone's a pro, and you know, or just I'll just kick ass here.
Well, it'd be like if you were working somewhere, and then all of a sudden that place where it's like, we've always kept people around here 4 years because it's just the rules. Well, now all of a sudden, if the rules stopped, in that place was like, well. I mean, we'll keep you around and quadruple your salary.
Yeah.
Even though if you could go out and do your own thing, and maybe in 10 years you'll make the same amount of money, or if more. So I think some guys get comfortable. Like, well, shit, I'll just hang around here. You know.
The one thing I don't watch the college basketball enough anymore to know, but I remember the one and done. That was just, it sucked, man. It was like you were getting a lot of good players, and they were just coming into, at the time, Kentucky. And one and done. I hope the NIL, I mean, I don't really pay attention to college basketball too much anymore, but hopefully that gets like some of these teams to have the 3-4 year players together.
Yeah.
And get those cool.
Well, and I think that's what's always made the NCAA men's basketball tournament so good is you get all these teams of like the Wichita States who have like 4 or 5 year guys who could beat a Kentucky because they know how to play basketball with each other more. When Kentucky's more just like, oh, my whole life I've just been the biggest, blackest dude. They just threw me the ball and I put it in the hoop. Well, now all of a sudden you're playing Wichita State with all these like fundamental white
dudes.
guys who maybe were overlooked, and they outdish you, outflank you, outmaneuver you, and it's like shit. Whoa! And in the NCAA tournament, it's single elimination. It's not like NBA finals or NBA playoffs where you got to beat someone four.
Dude, I'm calling Coach Kyle if I have any fucking sports questions at all. I'll tell you what.
He's knowledgeable. For
sure. No, I love it. I love listening and learning. That's why I'm stoked to have you today, man.
It's always fun because
my son is always teaching me shit.
Yeah, it's always fun.
New shit.
Yeah. Oh, for sure. It's always fun with Coach Kyle because I consider myself a sports fan, but then Coach Kyle always, it's like, I'm amateur. He's like the pro.
Well, there's levels to it, right?
Yeah, there's levels to it, exactly.
Well, it's even that way. Like, when I was in U playing football, I was all right, you know. But then I went to Yuba College, and I was like, whoa, I've never played with black athletes before. Like these guys could jump out of bed and have like a 40-inch vertical, this is unbelievable. So I was like a jag, what they call a jag, just another guy,
Just another guy.
But I was also like a glue guy. Locker rooms need glue guys who can kind of get along with everybody and, see things maybe other guys don't see and everything like that. And I think those jags, those just another guys, those glue guys make good coaches. Like Mike Vrabel on the Patriots, I think he was like a glue guy. Never really made Pro Bowls, but his team was like, he was the dude out there. He was the commander of our defense, even though he might not be in the Hall of Fame. He's in our Hall of Fame type of deal.
Definitely cool.
Man, I really thought the 49ers were going to pull through this year. It'd be our year. Oh, in the Levi Stadium, too. And,
Yeah, just, injury bug bit him too hard, I think.
So hard. Fred Warner. God.
It was amazing
Bosa,
that they were even
Kittle.
able to win that many games for how hurt they were.
Oh, dude.
Dude, I'm proud of them. I give them their flowers. I'm proud of them. I'm proud of them. Yeah, they made it. They did. They had a good year. And shouts out to Jones.
Mac Jones?
Yep.
Yeah.
Shouts out to
Mac Jones?
Who? Mac Jones.
Mac Jones.
Yeah,
You know that old song, Mike Jones? That's what me and my son were doing. Mac Jones.
Yeah.
Yeah, they got him another year under contract. So, I mean, if
Keep
another.
him.
He came out and looked good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Purdy came out looking
Well,
good,
that
too.
was Sam Darnold 2 years ago for the
Dude,
49ers.
The Sam Darnold is just like, I bet everyone is like, I never want to be drafted to the Jets. Like, the Jets are just.
Or be a coach for the Jets. I mean, it
The
didn't
Jets is
affect
just a
Robert
dumpster
Saleh at all.
fire.
Robert Saleh got another job.
Speaking about that, what's the deal with him? Do you know?
So Robert Saleh is the new head coach of the Titans.
Oh, fuck.
But the Niners, though,
fuck.
they signed Raheem Morris, who used to be the head coach of the Falcons,
Who
Shanahan was with when he became an assistant coach years ago. So there's
he's the new defensive coordinator.
Yeah,
Okay.
Yeah, he's a good dude.
yeah, for
Nice.
sure. So I wouldn't be surprised if they have another good year on defense. I mean, they're getting healthier, so there's nowhere to go but up, And all those young guys this last year have all that experience now.
Yeah, they did
Because
good
they had
too.
to play because there was no choice.
Yeah, and they
guys
did
were
good.
hurt.
Those guys did good.
Yeah, for how banged up they were, they were all right.
Yeah.
They just ran into that Seattle buzzsaw at the end of the year.
Tonjes played good for Kittle. Yeah.
I wouldn't be surprised if the Niners make a move in the offseason for a tight end, like maybe like Kyle Pitts from the Falcons, or
okay.
draft a young guy in the draft, something like that.
Just
Somebody
get
to
something started
back
already.
up. Yeah.
But I think they got to rebuild from the inside out with their O-line and D-line.
Yeah.
They've been trying to do what Cincinnati's doing outside in with the receivers first, and Joe Burrow's proven that, and Andrew Luck before him, that you can't do that because quarterbacks can only get hit so many times before they tap out.
They got a ticker on them.
Yes, they do. Yep.
So, not to get too off track, but okay, so what's this deal going on at the Levi Stadium next door? Are they doing something about it? There are a bunch of lawsuits going on, or is there what the fuck's the deal?
Well,
'Cause
as of right now,
I'm clueless to this.
Yeah.
This is like fill me in somewhat, and the listeners somewhat.
As of right now, there's no lawsuits, but I have a feeling that there may be some free agents next year that are going to be like,
Yeah, I think it's more conspiracy
Ooh,
theory
yeah,
at the
that's
moment.
not good.
because free agents already don't want to come to California anyway because of the state
Taxes.
income tax. And for every $1 million you make, you got to pay $140,000 just in state income tax.
shit, dude.
Compared to if you play in
Florida.
Vegas or Florida or
Yeah.
Texas, you save all that money.
Yeah, there's no
Tennessee.
income.
Yep.
Oh, they're
And
going to play for the
Washington is-
Raiders. Damn
yeah.
it.
Well, and that's one thing I can't figure out with the Raiders. It's like, dude, everything is set up perfectly for them to be successful.
I know.
Well,
and money, like
Yeah,
mad money.
Vegas. There's a
Yeah.
lot to do. Good place to raise families in the suburbs.
Well, it's just they're turning out these coaches, dude, and I heard they're paying $50 million for 6 coaches not to coach them. This year.
including Chip Kelly, who was their offensive coordinator. They
Yeah.
owe him like $15 million over the next 2 years.
Yeah, so they're paying $50 million to coaches who aren't even
Well,
coaching.
think about it. The New York Jets are paying Robert Saleh $30,000 per day for the next 2 years to not coach their team. Because coaches' contracts are
Guaranteed.
fully guaranteed. There's no salary cap on coaches' contracts either.
No,
Only on
fucking
players.
shit.
Yeah. So Robert Saleh's double dipping now. He's getting paid by his
Damn.
new team.
Good
And,
for him.
Yeah.
Good for him.
Well, I mean,
No,
he's got
for
8
real.
kids.
I
He's
love
got, Robert Saleh's super religious. I think he's Muslim.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's got like 8 kids.
Yeah.
But no, it's funny because the commissioner brings all the owners in every year in the offseason to be like, we got to get a handle on all these coaches that you guys have been firing because have you guys seen the amount of money you still owe them? And they're like, we don't care.
Yeah.
Like our teams are worth $10 billion. When your team's worth that much, if you got to pay an extra $20 million, that's nothing.
That's
Damn.
true.
It'd be like making $100,000 and someone goes, you got to pay $200. They're gonna be like, I don't care. You know,
Yeah.
$200 for someone to go away. I'll do that tomorrow. You know, when you think about it, when you break down the numbers, it's a drop in the bucket when
Yeah.
you got that much money.
Damn.
It's amazing that people will pay people to go away.
Yeah, just go away. Just go
just
away.
leave me alone. I don't want you anymore.
I've heard of that in the whole mafia days too. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's
Well, that's why there's rumors that's how the DeBartolos, Eddie DeBartolo, his dad, Eddie Sr., that's how he made all his money because they were from Youngstown, Ohio, which Youngstown, Ohio is directly between Chicago and New York. And they have some mob ties with the Italian mobs and stuff. So they were able to fund all those malls that they built through the mob.
yeah.
And that's how the DeBartolos made all their money.
That's a trip.
Because when they bought the Niners in the late 70s, it was like considered an astronomical amount of money at the time, which is funny to think about. I think back then it was like, $50 million.
Yeah.
Which now that's like a quarterback for 1 year.
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
Damn.
Yeah. The Seahawks are going for sale after the Super Bowl, and they're going to sell for, they said projected $8 billion, which it's going to be like 10.
Yeah. Oh, it always
win.
goes over.
Especially if they win.
Oh, so whoever owns it's trying to sell.
Yeah, because it used to be Paul Allen. He died a few years ago, so his sister took over, and she's like, I don't really know what I'm doing.
Crazy.
How
How old are you, Kyle?
I'll be 35 this year.
Dude, you're a wise man.
Man, just
You pay attention.
like an old soul.
You paid
Yeah.
attention in school, eh?
Well, I didn't talk a lot, so I just kind of listened. Yeah.
Today I'm listening to you. I'm not talking a lot. I'm really more listening today.
So I am not old enough to see Roger Craig fumble against the Giants in 1990, and that's the reason why he's finally in the Hall of Fame now. Because so many people were like, I'm not going to vote for him because if he wouldn't have fumbled against the Giants, the Niners would have won 3 in a row.
Yeah.
Fuck.
That poor guy.
Yeah.
Sports are funny, especially sports fans. They'll hold something over a guy's head of what they didn't do and forget what they did do.
Oh,
you know what I mean?
Oh, I hate that.
It's like Bill Buckner on the Red Sox. He had a Hall of Fame career, but he missed that one play in the World Series, and Red Sox fans are like, I'll never vote for him in the Hall of Fame.
Oh, man.
One
Well, it's
mistake.
kind of like, I'm not a huge, I'm going for the Patriots today, but I'm not a huge fan. But it's like, how does Bill Belichick not get in
Oh, I know.
on the first ballot? He's like, number 2 in wins, has the 6 Super Bowls. It's like
Every
okay, you guys-
coach and player
he's
is
got
like,
20
it makes no sense, but the sports writers have the control. That's
Yeah.
why Barry Bonds isn't in the Hall
Yeah,
of
'cause
Fame.
he's-
What?
Yeah,
'Cause
because Roger Clemens, all the steroid shit,
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
But
yeah.
if you talk to any former player who went against Barry Bonds, they're like, "Oh, he was the greatest thing we ever saw."
Yeah.
Because they ignore all the off the field shit, and they just look at like what he did on the field,
Yeah.
type of deal. And technically, doing steroids wasn't illegal at the time, so
Yeah.
it's kind of hard to say if like you go up to somebody, you're like, "Hey, if there's something you could do that's not illegal and everybody else is doing it and it's going to make you 10% better, would you do it?" People
yeah.
would be like, yeah. I mean, even think about it in business. You know what I mean? Yeah, you can make 10% more money on every year.
with a little tax evasion.
Yeah, or not even that. It's just like using something.
Like a write-off or
yeah,
something.
something. People go, hell yeah, you know.
What was the guy that just recently that just snapped his leg right in half?
In football,
Yeah.
what position was he?
I think he was a wide receiver.
Ooh.
Wasn't he? Who was it just recently? My son just told me.
Was it Scattaboo? Was he a running back on the Giants?
Oh, that guy.
He had a bad one. He's from Sacramento.
Somebody just
that
broke
guy's
their leg in the NFL not too long ago, before I think the playoffs started, or maybe in the playoffs. And
I don't know.
he's done. Like the break was super bad. Like a.
The only one I can
Let me
think
see.
of is Alex Smith.
I was.
when he
Yeah,
was
that
on the
was-
Redskins.
that was a bad
And then
one.
Joe Theismann, I guess it was
Yeah,
like,
on the same field.
Yes.
Or the same.
I think the same day.
Same
It was like
day.
the anniversary.
I
or
know,
something.
crazy.
The Redskins curse.
Well, who was it?
That was Alex Smith when he was on the Redskins.
Alex
so-
Smith had a bad one. Joe Theismann had a bad one.
No, I mean recently.
Oh, no, I don't know.
I mean,
Scattaboo
this
had a
year.
bad. Scattaboo had a bad one.
Scattaboo.
Dude,
Yeah.
that Scattaboo, I like him, dude. I mean, it's just hard not to like him. A lot of people are like, oh, he's crazy. And I'm
Yeah,
like,
people are like, there's two types of white running backs. There's like McCaffrey, who's very analytical, like
Yeah.
could play the piano, went to Stanford, and then there's the crayon eaters like Scattaboo, Like, I just want to run full speed with my forehand. Yeah.
I like it. I mean, I'm just like, yeah. Dude,
He went to Rio Linda, and if
Yeah,
you know
Rio-
anything about Rio Linda football, it's like it's right across the freeway from Grant. You know,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Del Paso Heights is on one side
Oh, yeah.
of exit 91, and
The hood.
Rio Linda's on the other side. You know,
Yeah.
it's hood adjacent. You know,
Yeah.
it's
Yeah.
the hood in the hayfields.
Yeah. Yep. Giants running back Cam Scatterbo, Calvin Ridley, but I think it might have been Quinshawn Judkins is what, or Judkins is what.
Yeah, there's been
Damn, dude.
players don't practice full speed anymore. So when they do go full speed, I think you see more injuries too.
Yeah.
Because you got to like callous your body to. It's like fighting, you know.
I was just gonna say it's like going in the UFC.
Yeah, if you were doing shin kicks all the time, if you were brand new, you got kicked in the shin, you get hit once and drop.
or
if
like
you were,
Yuri Prohaska's beating on trees and
yeah,
shit, dude.
exactly.
Yeah.
All those micro fractures. You know, you gotta.
Oh, yeah.
Or even like working hands. You know, a
Yeah.
guy who's moved concrete his whole life, his
Yeah.
fingers are probably size of bananas, so calloused
yeah.
up and big. You
Dude,
know,
I can tell since like I've been in the trades probably 10, 12 years
Uh-huh.
now. And I mean, granted, I was in my early 20s when I wasn't, but I was like a car salesman, and I swear, since I've been in the trades, my fingers are wider.
Oh, yeah.
They're more of like a meat hook, and they're like they're getting wider, maybe even shorter. Like I swear they have like evolved
Yeah.
to be in the trades opposed to fucking keyboard. Oh, I'm gonna
well,
sell you a
even
car
like
today.
people's feet. You know, I think the greatest thing that people could do with their kids when they're little is not buy them any shoes.
Yeah,
and just
dude.
let them run around
Yep.
barefoot.
Yeah.
Yeah, like
know.
these little my little nephews in Kauai, dude. Their little feet,
Yeah.
man, on the beach in the sand. Man, I went a good year or two, like what is it, last year maybe, in the year before that, just doing firewood with my neighbor, just oak.
Yeah.
And he always would hand me gloves. And I'm like, I'm good,
No,
brother. I
I've
can't
never
be
been a
using
glove
no
dude.
gloves with that
I
shit.
like to feel.
My
Yeah,
hands were just, and I was stronger.
Yeah.
Lifting all that. My
Oh, yeah.
back was stronger.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, you know how Bob Marley has like 20 kids.
Yeah.
Probably
Yeah,
more.
yeah, probably more. Well, one of his sons, Rohan, he grew up in Jamaica.
What's his name?
Rohan Marley.
Oh, he
Shit,
played
I
for
haven't heard
Miami.
it. I haven't even
Yes,
heard of that
yeah,
one
he's the
yet.
one, Rohan,
Coach
yeah.
Kyle, that's
He grew up-
a
he
new
grew
one
up
popping
in-
out.
He grew up in Jamaica, played soccer his whole life, moved to Miami his senior year, never wore shoes his entire life, right? Rohan's like, I don't know, 5'8". He was probably like 180. And they're like, you want to play football? And he goes, like, yeah, football, like soccer, you know, because they call it football down
yeah,
there.
yeah,
He goes, no, American football. Oh, what's that? He goes, it's a thing you could like hit people. And he goes, oh, this sounds like fun. So he ended up getting a scholarship to the University of Miami as a football player. And like I said, he's like 5'8". He probably bulked up to like 200 pounds. And he led the team in tackles with guys like Ray Lewis,
Yep.
Warren Sapp, Dwayne The Rock Johnson,
The Rock.
all on the same defense.
fucking
and
shit.
Rohan led the
Yeah.
team in tackles. The reason he didn't go to the NFL because he was too short as a linebacker. He couldn't really
damn.
cover as a
The bigger
defensive
dudes,
back.
yeah.
Man, these
But
is
he's too
some
small for
great
a linebacker.
stories
So went to
today.
Canada, played in Canada.
Yep.
But before he got into reggae and stuff.
Yeah.
Blessing the mic today.
But he had one of those like, oh, you're too small to play football. Oh yeah, watch me. You
Yeah,
know, he had
exactly.
that mentality of
Dude,
like, I grew
that
up in
sucks.
Jamaica.
I
This
hate
ain't
when
shit
people.
compared to what I'm
I
used to.
hate that when people get cheated or shorted because of their
Yeah.
height.
Well,
Or
and
they-
the bummer is when people listen to him. You
Yeah,
know?
yeah.
like
Because
like
there's
Frank
someone
Gore-
else next to him going like, bullshit, he could do it. Here,
Frank
let's
Gore.
go.
Frank Gore, dude.
He tore 2 knees in college.
Yeah.
They said he dropped the 3rd round because
Yeah.
they're like, oh, it's just bound to get hurt again.
Yeah.
In 16,000 yards in 16 seasons,
Yeah.
you know.
Yeah.
3rd
Good
all
old
time.
Frank. Shouts out to Frank Gore.
He'll be in the Hall of Fame one day.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Isn't he already?
No, he
No,
was
he got
gonna.
me
He
out.
was a finalist this year, but they gave it to Roger Craig instead. Which Frank Gore was like, I actually would rather have him get in before me because he
Okay.
waited 30 years. you
Yeah.
know. But Frank Gore will get in eventually.
Yeah. And dude, going back to that bare feet stuff, man. Like I can remember in high school going to the river all the time,
Yeah.
always bare feet, jumping from all the rocks, rocks.
Oh, yeah.
Dude, I walk outside and now I wear shoes or dude, on my gravel driveway. Oh yeah,
Well, so
yeah, dude.
if
So
you
it's like-
talk to like coaches who used to play against NU back in the day, their theories are like, oh, it makes sense why you guys were so good at football because you didn't have internet. Everything you did was outside. You were these,
country bumpkin
country
kid.
mountain boys,
Yeah,
you know?
country mountain,
running up
yeah,
the hills.
and it's like so. By the time 4th quarter would hit and we get tired, you guys were like, "Oh shit, I'm gonna play football and then go stack wood tomorrow." You know?
That's so
Yeah.
funny. I got
Yeah.
a stack of quarter wood tomorrow.
Yeah, I'm sure this ain't shit. This is the easiest thing I've done all week. Practice is harder than this. But now with internet and things have gotten so easier up here, kids are starting to get more like
I hate
Roseville
it.
kids, Auburn
Yeah,
kids,
for sure.
and they're just. But again, it's like, is it their fault? No, because it's convenient. Whether it's a dog, a kid, whatever, to be like, here's something to play with. You're bugging me. Go over there.
Yeah, that's
when
right.
back in the day, it was like, you're bugging me. Go outside. You
Yeah,
know?
or
come back in when the
you're
light comes off.
Exactly, or you're bugging me. I'm putting your ass to work.
Yeah,
or,
for sure. It used to be a punishment to stay inside. Now it's a punishment to go outside.
Yeah, I can one of my kids just complains about just anything, and I'm like, man, I was like a full-time slave at your age. I was my parent, my dad and my stepmom had just got a new property. Like my dad was just like, dude, we are clearing this manzanita. We're doing this. We're burning fucking Burning Man size piles of fucking manzanita, and just like he's working me. I used to go.
Good for you.
Yeah, I used to go to his, and I loved it. But on Saturdays, he worked in the sand and gravel business, and on Saturdays, if you wanted to, or if you were high up enough, I guess we could go to work with your dad on Saturdays. And so I went to work with him, and they're like, there's this huge, like, to get the rock, like a rock crusher. It has like a huge corkscrew, and this thing's like, I don't even know how many tons, and like everyone's hung over, you know, as far as and they're like, Matt, get in there and tighten the nuts on this thing, and I'm like 15. I'm like, this is the best thing ever, dude. And I guarantee. Yeah, I mean, the kids nowadays are
kind of what we were talking about with the military. Those are like the perfect guys that they're going after. But now the military's struggling because there's such a demand for trades that those high school kids now are going like, well, shit, I could stay stateside and learn a trade and make $100,000 in 5 years. Why would I go fight Israel's wars? You know, when I could do the same shit over here. Yeah. So I think now
people through the internet too are starting to catch on to what's a fucking joke. You know?
Oh yeah.
And like, no, I'm not going to be a part of this. You know?
Yeah, I mean, I put it this way: like people used to go to the military to be like, oh, but the benefits are good. But now people are like, well, shit, I could wake up early, lift cardboard for UPS, get their insurance, and then go do trades afterward. Why? And I could stay here. You know, why would I go in the Middle East and do all that shit? Because it seems like 1 out of every 2 people who have gone to war, like they're either fine or they're not. There's no like in between. You know what I mean?
Exactly. I remember when I was going to join, when I was I think I waited until I was like 19.
You're right on that.
And I was going to join, and you know, and they're like, oh, well, we're going to pay you like $1,300 a month, and I like did the math, and I was like, well, if I just find a job for $15 an hour, I'll be making like $18.
Yeah.
So this is
and you just live at
is
home
not
on your
mathing.
parents' property and maybe help them out with the stuff that you've been doing your whole life anyway. So you already know how to do it.
Like this
you know?
math's not mathing really.
For sure.
I mean, but
I think that's the same thing goes on with like people becoming, you know, cops now too. People are going, well, even if it is a $40,000 a year sign-on bonus, I don't think the juice is worth the squeeze. The amount of bullshit I'd have to deal with.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
And you know what else is sad is when they take on that role, they might truly want to be a help and be a good, honorable officer and help, but they're like not able to do the job the right way anymore. They have all these rules above them, above their head, their superiors that are like, well, you have all these rules that you can't even even a bad guy, you know, you have to follow some kind of like protocol to go through this to that. And some people don't even do it. A lot of crime is going on because they'll like drive past it. You know what I mean?
That's the thing. I think teachers are the same way. You know, I don't think teachers could discipline kids anymore either.
no.
Oh, that
You know
too,
what I mean?
man.
So like if you're a teacher now,
Like, hey, pay attention right now.
yeah, if you want to be a teacher now and the kids are like, what are you going to do? I could do no work and I still move on to the next grade.
I think-
you know?
You know, that's that's true.
Oh.
I was just volunteering in my daughter's classroom Mondays and Tuesdays, and I will be again this coming Monday. And there's a couple kids in that classroom that, you know, I'm a daddy lion. I don't shelter my kids. If I got to roar, I roar. But I don't hit my kids or nothing like that. But this kid right here needed, you know, and it's like, if somebody was just like, hey, you little shit.
Yeah.
Do you hear what I'm saying? I'll put the fear of
100%.
God into you right now.
Yeah.
I guarantee that little, ooh, okay. But nobody can do nothing like that. And that's not really the right way to do it. But like, holy shit, the old days and things like, 2 guys getting into a fist fight and learning that, hey, that hurt. My nose is broken.
Oh, yeah.
I don't think I want to talk shit anymore about people.
Oh, for sure.
You know, that, and you know, violence is bad too, but a lot of shit from the law, the teachers, this, that. Holy shit, it's bad.
Yeah.
So bad.
Too many white moms, right? White moms are like, oh, can't do that to my baby angel. When black moms are like, bullshit. Yeah, be my meal ticket out of
dude,
here.
I
Yeah, I'm
know.
gonna whip your ass.
My homegirl Sheba. She, by the way, she taught me how to play dominoes and dice and all this shit. And,
Spades.
No card. I hate playing card games. I really do. But oh my God, like I got to learn a lot from my sister right there. I'll tell you what, dude, it is a different thing. It is a different thing. And even when I was in Hawaii, I was hanging out with my nephew, the uncles and shit, like Ocean's uncles and stuff. And she just got to get like a whole different perspective and lifestyle, what I mean?
Yeah.
And it's like, wow, there's those moms don't fuck around. They'll beat your ass right the fuck there, and they'll look at the person in the grocery store. Don't look at me while I'm kind of like that myself. Like, what are you looking at? Mind your fucking business. My daughter's acting up right now. Don't even look at us right now.
Pressure creates diamonds or bust pipes, right?
Yeah.
Usually people under more pressure, it's like
This woman did that to me in the grocery store the other day, and Ocean was totally misbehaving, and I coached her before we went in, just being quick, and she's just staring over at me like I might just be like a verbally abusive dad or something, or feeling bad for my daughter. And I looked at her and I was like, and I didn't say nothing, but I wanted to be like, what the fuck are you looking at? But she got my eyeballs that said it to her. Yeah. Like, mind your fucking business. I'm raising my daughter right now. And it's just like people also go against that. There's a lot of people, like enabling people.
yes,
A lot of enablers. A lot of enabling going on in many ways.
Have you seen the stats of kids that are raised in dual parent households by single moms or by single dads? Have you seen those stats?
It's breaking my heart right now.
So kids who are raised in households with mom and dad are just all around better off. You know what I mean? Kids who are raised by single mothers, like they're more likely to do drugs, go to jail, shoot up a school, all this shit. But kids raised by single fathers are the same as a dual parent household.
Oh shit!
So I think the data shows that it's like you need
that strong male
figure.
Well, pay attention to that data, because it's like you see a lion laying down on the ground on the African floor, right? And his cubs are crawling around him, and he gets a claw in the ear or whatever, and they're fucking around. Swat them and send them on their way. There ain't nothing wrong with that. They're gonna learn not to claw dad in the eye again, or someone else
for sure.
It's just you're living and learning.
It seems like kids though that are raised by single moms could get on them, and in the back of their mind they're like, well, my mom still loves me. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I'm gonna push over.
But like when dad gets on them, they're like, holy shit. You know?
And it sucks when they go back and forth. So like all the things that I'm working hard on with my children, honor, respect, manners, or food, or the food that they eat. Then they come back because
the water they drink,
what they get to watch, all that, and then they come back to my house and expect me to be okay with it. And it's like, oh, I have to reteach my daughter every time she comes back. It's fucked up. It's confusing, and you're right, dude.
I see it with the kids I coach when they're 1 week on, 1 week off with mom or dad. When they're with one parent, they're never late, never tired, eat good, good in school. When they're with the other parent, it's like, might as well be on vacation. You know what I mean?
Preaching to the choir.
It's funny because growing up, we didn't get hit a lot, but there was yelling and it was pretty common, but that's fine. But man, I watched my brother get beat one time. We were pretty young with a belt, and then all my dad had to say is, "I'm getting Johnny," and then because he had a leather belt and he named it Johnny, and it was so funny because he'd be like, "Here's Johnny," and I did not understand it because I'd never seen The Shining until I was like in my early 20s, and I was like, "What the fuck?" But dude, literally. One time, my brother got fucking swatted, dude.
Yeah.
And fucking, like, I don't know if that's right to be like, you fear someone so you respect them, but there was more respect than fear, but it was like, oh, dad's not fucking around.
Well,
dude.
think about it this way.
You can learn more and be taught more.
Smart people learn from their mistakes. Brilliant people learn from other people's mistakes.
Yeah.
Right? Like back in the day, there could have been a class clown, dumbass kid in school. And all year they'd be like, you do the work, you got to do this grade again.
Yeah. Hey, dude, I'm writing that down.
And then all of a sudden the next year that you're going, we're all in 4th grade now. What happened to so-and-so? Oh, he's still in 3rd grade because he didn't do his work.
I had a friend that got
and then all of a sudden everyone's going, holy shit, I don't want to be one of those kids to have
now
to.
everyone just gets fucking.
Yeah. Well, now, it's like no matter what. Now it's like.
Yeah.
And I'm glad now that like junior minors we got away from par. Like par used to be like. No matter what, you had to play so many plays. Because some kids would be like, I don't want to be here. My parents want me to play. At least I get a few plays every game.
Yeah.
But when you put those kids in, it's dangerous if a kid doesn't want to be there out on a football field. Because there could be a killer out there across from him that's not doing it to be mean, but it's just like, hey, this is my job.
Yeah.
To block you till the whistle type of deal.
Yeah.
But now with no par, it's like, dude, if you're not paying attention to practice and you don't show up, we don't have to play you.
That's
all of a sudden,
badass.
kids go, holy shit.
That's cool. I didn't know that. Yeah, because the last year I coached. I can remember putting in, because I always coached the, we went back to wing T. So I had one wide out, out there. And so, naturally coming some of the kids that
throw him way off to the side.
Way out there.
Playing 10
but,
on
dude,
10.
Those kids would get lit up, dude. And then who would be the mommy and daddy? My kid don't get, doesn't get to play. And it's like, well, you're at practice every day.
Yeah.
You watch your kid, but I had this one kid. He just got lit.
I know, and you see it on film too.
You can see it on the film.
You see it coming.
And then it's so funny going back to just getting like that competitive spirit. I can remember because I coached special teams. I think we only won 1 or 2 games, and I forget the kid's name, and I probably wouldn't say it anyways. Even I remember, but it was special teams, and he got it, and he ran it for a touchdown. We were playing Sutter, and that won us the game, and I'm all. Holy shit! Special teams just won us the game. And that's what I coached. I've been coaching it all week, and I'm like, oh my god, this shit worked, and it was a great feeling. And I swear, when he picked that up, I ran from on the sidelines. I ran all the way with that kid to the touchdown, and then they're like, oh, you can't go past this, this hash, and I'm all there,
those are the little things that make it all worth it, though.
100%.
Especially when you're going through tough seasons,
You all that hard work pays off.
Yeah, because it's like,
And that's when you get to learn from the success of it, and then they go, oh, okay, now I seen what the coach was talking about.
Yeah. We run into this every year, too, in junior minors, like an 8U team we play against, their fundamentals are just terrible, and their coaching's terrible, but they have one athlete who's like a head taller than everybody else that weighs low enough to where they could run the ball. And this guy will score like 5 touchdowns a game, even though like they can't even line up in a straight line. Well, by the time you follow that group all the way up to 14U, and fundamentals now matter. All of a sudden it's like, wow, that team hasn't won a game all year because they got lazy young and it caught up to them when they were old. It's like people who had crazy metabolisms when they're in high school and they just ate junk food and bullshit all day and never gained an ounce. Well, now you run into them 20 years out of high school and it's like, whoa, dude, you're 400 pounds because you had those bad habits, never exercised, never ate good food, and now your metabolism's like, well, credit card payments due, know? So I've seen that a lot too, type of deal.
Shit.
Or it could be substances, it could be drug use, it could be everything. Like what was cool, and you seem to be able to bounce back from when you're younger. When you get older, it's like not so much anymore.
Coach Kyle, I do a lot of thinking, for little messages to people like that they can learn from, like the youth, for example. Hopefully, you guys out there, that are coming up, in high school, teenagers and whatnot, before you go getting your girlfriend pregnant right off the bat or whatnot, try to wait till you're a little bit older, and because kids do need a mom and a dad. You want to wait, and you want to find somebody that hopefully. I kind of want to help bring back the old days, like true love and high school sweethearts, or just like whatever it takes to compromise or communication to stay. Just keep the family. There's too many broken families, is all I'm saying.
All broken homes.
I go from a broken home with my parents, another one with my son's mom, and then another one with my daughter's mom. And you got to really be careful who you get with, because it's heartbreaking when your daughter has to go back to her mom and all those types of things we were talking about. So just all the things, learn from all of. That's why I wrote it down here. Correct me if I did this wrong, Kyle, but he said, smart people learn from their mistakes. Brilliant people learn from others' mistakes. Okay, so that right there, just for the younger folks, like all these things we talk about, just try and if you still got a chance, you still got a chance. Us older folks don't. Learn from our mistakes. And, it's very important to that children have a mom and a dad They're going to be way more successful in life, and it's heartbreaking when kids grow up without them.
Oh yeah, years ago, because with junior minors, it takes a lot to get even a game going. The amount of money when it comes to the referees, equipment, renting the field, volunteer hours. I mean, it takes a village just for these kids to be able to even play football,
totally,
or have nice equipment every year,
or just to run a household. Mortgage. It takes takes a family, not just single parent. Shit sucks.
Yeah,
and years ago there was this just random kid who showed up to practice one day with his single mom and was like, "Oh, I wanted to get him signed up." Da da da. Well, the whole practice when he's supposed to be watching, like figuring out if he wants to play or not, he's just dicking around, messing with the water bottles, being a distraction. And then after practice, when all the kids like set all their gear off to the side, like the way we teach them to do it, like we say, like, "Hey, these aren't plaster helmets where we just kick off to the side and who gives a shit? These are minor helmets. And these cost a lot of money. We respect them, set them down a certain way. Well, this kid just starts picking up random helmets, putting them on, throwing them down, and I just lost it on this kid in front of his mom. I'm like, for one, that's not your kid's helmet. He could have. What if he has lice? You know what I mean? We don't know.
Yeah.
Like this could be a major issue, and I went off on him pretty bad. I was like, and he was like, "That's me," and I'm like, "No, that's real life.
That's
real life. That's not me, and that's real life. Because if you're not hard on kids, and I said this to his mom, if you're not hard on kids when they're young, the police will be when they're old.
Dude,
it just is what it is.
Props,
you know what I mean?
Bro. Props, dude. Straight up. Thank you. If you don't discipline your kids, you don't love them.
Yeah,
it says it in the Bible. Even for who it's like if you shelter your kids and you don't teach them the truth, or it's like planting seeds and skills for them in their future to deal with their boss or to deal with somebody at work. You know what I mean? It's like
the opposite of love isn't hate, it's indifference. If you're indifferent to somebody, that's the opposite of love. It's just like, well, whatever, type of deal.
And
but
it's out the window.
But anyway, getting back to that story. I ran into that kid and his mom a couple weeks later at the fair, and he gave me a big old hug, like, "Oh, sorry, coach." Da, da, da. And I'm like, "Yeah, dude. Hey, maybe next year signups are coming. We'd love to have you out." Never heard anything from him. This a couple years ago. Well, the other day, I work super early in the morning at UPS, so sometimes they have me utility drive afterwards. So I'll just go run and get like a breakfast burrito or something in the meantime.
Yeah.
And I'm sitting in the Taco Bell drive-through. And I hear this like commotion going on, kind of like over by Motor Electric and Jack in the Box there, like in the middle of the street.
Yeah.
And I was like, "What the hell is that?" And so I look over, and that kid, his mom, and some random kid, he's like swinging over his mom, punching this other kid, while this other kid's like trying to get away from the whole situation. And I'm like, holy shit! Like, what a difference in that kid's life it could have been if he just would have played football.
Oh, that breaks
and
my
you know what I mean?
fucking
Compared
heart,
to now,
dude.
it's like mom doesn't have a car. This is like 7 a.m, in between preload and driving, getting something, and just some other random kid. It's like, who knows who that is, whether it's his cousin, other brother, whatever. But I'm like, all it would take for a cop to just like drive by and be like, "Oh, I'm having a bad day. I'm going to go ruin this kid's life." You know what I mean? Throw him in juvie, which could end up.
Or just do their job and throw them in
but
juvie
you know what I'm
anyway.
saying, though? It's like, it's just...
Yeah.
And my whole point is like, dude, sometimes if that kid had a dad in the picture, it could have been just that simple. Like, no, listen to your coach. This isn't what we're doing. Whether you want to or not.
And that affects the rest of your life when you go to get a job. You have charges, or you have certain things on you finally get your head out of your ass, and you do have a wife and children or whatever, and you want to provide for them, and now all of a sudden you can't go get this certain job that you'd really like to get because you have some stupid things on your record.
You can't vote. You can't coach a sport. Something that happened before you even had kids.
You can't coach your own son. Now that you want to do
for sure.
So make better choices, youngsters.
Make better choices.
Yep.
Yeah.
But anyway, it's kind of one of the things that is burned into my brain now of that example of that kid, because it's like, oh, what could have been,
Yeah.
He wouldn't have been in the middle of the street fighting some other kid at 7 a.m. on a Saturday,
Yeah.
He could have been at wrestling, or he could have been at football, or he could have been, doing something else. But now it's just like, who knows? Now he'll be on the front page of the paper for the wrong reason. You know what I mean?
Exactly. So when do we find out when the junior minors head coach is who's head coaching?
So we're still waiting on what the high school's doing, because the high school's getting a new head coach. So we're still figuring out what they're going to do in order to figure out what we're going to do.
So they're interviewing people?
They haven't even posted the job yet for the high school. for the high school open position, which is crazy because
Seems
like
you'd wanna
they're
get
like
that going.
they're in like preseason mode now,
Yeah.
with football PE and
Yeah,
stuff,
yeah, yeah.
but they don't have a coach. So it's like, well, what do we do? What offense do we run? What defense do we run? What special teams are we doing?
Yeah.
Are we lifting weights? Are we trying to bulk up? Are we trying to get lighter to more run spread? You know what I mean? So this is one of those weird years where it's like everybody's just kind of up in the air. Like, I don't know. I don't know what we're doing.
Maybe they're waiting for Clint Kubiak.
Maybe, yeah. I'm almost wondering if they're waiting for other positions to close in other high schools,
Yeah,
and
to
then
maybe
maybe
ask.
getting something
Yeah.
on up here. The problem with our district though is they don't match years compared to other districts. So like if you're a teacher who's got 10 years of teaching and you want to move up here, move your family up here and become a teacher up here to coach a sport,
They won't
they'll be
match
like,
that
we'll
shit.
give you 5 years. And they're like, well, I'm not going to eat 5,
no,
for
fuck
my
that.
retirement and everything
Yeah.
else, when other districts do match years. So I think a lot of good candidates, unfortunately, don't become coaches for that reason.
Yeah.
Because, they're looking at it macro, not micro.
Yeah.
It's like, why would I want to give up 5 years of teaching when I could retire at 70 and now I got to teach
Yeah.
till 75 because those 5 years I've already done don't count. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? Type of
That's
deal.
lame.
Yeah. So it's one of those things, it's like even the older I get when I see like free agents moving sports and a lot of fans are like, I can't believe they left us. And it's like, well, I kind of can because they got paid more. They went to a state where you get to keep more money.
Yeah.
They became the guy instead of a guy.
Yeah.
And
Do you have to be a teacher in order to coach for any?
so California, as far as all the states go, where as far as high school head football coaches, is the lowest, or no, sorry, it's the highest state of the most head coaches who aren't teachers.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
Okay,
out of all
so-
the other 50.
Okay.
Because I think in order to survive in California, you can't be a teacher in a lot of places.
Yeah,
you
a
know?
lot of places, yeah.
Like $40,000 a year ain't going to cut it,
Yeah, yeah.
especially if you're trying to raise a family and everything like
okay,
that.
nice.
Because, they make a little bit of money to coach sports, but not,
Yeah,
not a lot.
I think 10 years ago, I think I seen it, and it was like they give them like $5,000 for
Yeah,
the whole,
for a whole
season. Yeah, or something.
and whether people want to admit it or not, the season is all year. you
Oh,
know,
yeah, so
'cause
it's
you
just
get
a 5-year
off-season and
bonus
summer
and-
and
oh,
everything
yeah.
else. Sure.
If
Yeah,
you're-
and that's taxed money.
Yeah.
$5,000.
Yeah, so you're
It's not gonna-
$3,500
yeah,
or something.
Exactly,
Yeah.
for sure.
for all those hours.
Yeah, no shit.
But you do get when Humphreys was coach, you do get a sweet office in the locker
yeah,
room.
I mean, as long as you're winning, though. As long as you're winning.
Winning fixes everything.
Yeah,
Yeah.
People look the other way on a lot of stuff if you're winning.
Yeah, they do.
You can have players with off the field problems, but if you're winning, someone might go.
I've seen
All right,
I've seen Kyle Shanahan's face go from that fucking his cheeks are all sucked to one of the guys like getting an interception, running in for a touchdown, and just
Yeah.
like you're not getting yelled at in
Yeah.
the locker room no more.
Yeah, there's
You're
old-
about to get your head
There's
tore
old
off though.
footage of the old Ravens coach when Ed Reed was playing, because Ed Reed would catch an interception. He'd always want to run it back. You
Yeah.
know, he like catches one in the end zone. He's like, no, Ed, go, Ed, go, Ed. Because he went from being like, you're going to get tackled inside the 20 to like, oh, he just ran it back for 6 points. So
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
like, all right, he could do it, but nobody else because he's different, Not everybody's him.
Edric
Yeah.
was badass. Yeah, I mean, I can remember getting mad at it, like just going back to that, you have short term memory, dude. Just a kid just blowing a tackle or just, I mean, at our level, I mean, I'm sure it happens at every level, but like trying to like push them and not like wrap them up and tackle them. But then like a couple plays later, yeah, they pick it off and you're like, okay, well, you missed that tackle,
sure.
but am I going to really, so.
I'm not gonna ream you today.
Yeah. So it's
Let's
It's
just
like,
celebrate.
Oh, he strikes out a lot, but he does hit 40 home runs a year.
Yeah,
so I guess
And I
can
do
live with that.
believe firmly in like compliments as well as complaints. So like I know about me and in my life, like being yelled at or something, or increasing the pressure on me when I've done something bad versus talking to me.
Yeah.
Or,
like constructive criticism.
yeah, total constructive criticism. Like compliments are very important.
So when
For sure.
when Charles Haley was on the 49ers, Bill Walsh brought him into his office and he said, Charles, constructive criticism's a lot like beef jerky. It's tough, it's hard to chew, but it's got everything you need. Now get the hell out of my office. And he was like, oh, all right. I guess when Ronnie Lott's chewing my ass, he's doing it because he loves me, not because he
Yep.
hates me.
Exactly.
Because Charles Haley was the biggest, baddest dude his whole life.
Oh, yeah.
And all of a sudden he goes to 49ers. It's like, wow, that's Ronnie Lott. That's Fred Dean. That's Bill Romanowski. That's
Yeah.
whoever. Whoa. This is crazy,
Yeah.
These guys are future Hall of Famers, and I'm just some guy from James Madison who's never played before.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
Exactly.
So it was a little bit of humble pie for him in order to be like, oh, I guess this is what I got to do in order to be just like them. You know?
Yeah. And I mean, even in my life, like if I'm not like messing with you or you know, or like fucking with you, harassing you, like I probably actually don't like you.
Yeah.
You know, like when I was at Sierra, it was like totally like
people
like,
got me
like,
so
gy-
wrong.
like locker, like that gym locker, like, you know, locker room
Oh, yeah.
talk. And it's like, and everyone be like, man, you just like really fuck with, you know, like Donnie or Mike, the boss. Like, I don't even know why Mike, the boss, you know, anyone else fuck with Mike. He put him right in their place. And it was just totally like, and then people are like, you don't even talk to me. And it's like, that should
probably a reason.
That should tell you something, dude.
Yeah.
Like,
Well, that's the difference between men and women, right? It's women say nice things to each other's faces and bad things behind each other's backs.
Yeah.
And men say bad things to each other's faces and nice things behind each other's backs.
Yes.
You know?
Dude, they're mean to each other. I'll tell you.
You ever go into a
what.
salon after like a woman leaves?
Oh, yeah.
And it's like, can you believe what she was wearing today?
Did
Or
I
like
just
the whole
heard-
time she was in there, oh,
love
it looks
you.
so nice. I love your outfit. It's like, that's the opposite of what you said to her when she was in here. You know?
I just had the worst. I got to say this. I don't want to talk about the whole thing, but what you just mentioned, a female talking about another female. I don't want to really say who or what.
Yeah.
But man, I'm here, for example, trying to do this podcast, and I don't want to say too much because it might give away who my guest was or whatever. But just a female commented or said something about somebody, and it was just like, damn, dude, I'm trying to be positive, you know?
Yeah.
I'm trying to, like, okay, I'm cool with this person. I'm sorry you're not cool with this person. Damn, this negative shit's trying to throw me off course here.
Yeah.
And it's like, what do I do with this hater here? Or this person talking shit about this? But these women are mean to each
They
other.
are.
Or about, not all of them. I know a few of them that are really sweet and want to inspire other women and blah,
Oh,
blah,
for
blah,
sure.
blah.
Yeah.
But yeah, they could, like, compared to us, like, I'll say, fuck you. I got a problem. It's like, fuck you. No, fuck you, bro. Or,
Yeah.
you know.
Oh yeah, well that's the thing about like back when we used to have
Antler
like
fight.
full on defensive camps, you know, like tackle football in the summer, defensive camps. You're playing other schools. It's like you could be in a drill with another school and full on, like after the whistle, be fighting a guy, and then like afterward, the break in between, we're all having lunch, we're all eating with each other. It's like, oh sorry man, oh I know it's hot. I was just irritated and something set me off, and then it's like, you know, you play any other sports and you just kind of start bonding with them.
There's some dudes out there that are a bunch of little broads too, though. You know,
Yeah. Oh,
bunch
I
of
mean,
little
yeah.
bitch at dudes that act just like females.
Yeah. Hell yeah.
You
Usually
know,
the ones
talking,
on
like talking behind
Yeah.
people's back, and
usually the ones on the football team that talk the least are like the scariest ones. What
Oh,
I've
that's
noticed.
true. Yeah.
Like, you know,
that's
they don't
how it
gotta
is.
say a lot.
They don't. Yeah. And those are usually like the nicest people in the world too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The giant beasts, you know. They're
Yeah,
like,
guys who do mixed
they're
martial
usually
arts for a
friendly.
living are usually the nicest guys outside of it because they're
Yeah.
like, that's the last thing they want to do in their free time
Yeah,
is fight
you-
again. You know?
Well, what they do, if they're taught right, they practice is they know how to basically kill someone with their own bare hands, but not to is the most important part of all of it.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
You know?
absolutely.
To never have to do that.
Yep.
Not to go do it.
Yep.
Just self-defense.
Yeah,
Well-
you know, it's as far as the Super Bowl goes, is today.
Yeah. What time is the Super Bowl at?
Kickoff is at 3:30.
3:30?
Yeah.
Okay.
But you know, Super Bowl is always. They said when it comes to new young teams, you could tell because they blow their wad quick because they're not used to all these longer breaks. Like as far as TV timeouts, half times, everything else like that. So I wouldn't be surprised if one of these teams gets off to a hot start and then kind of pitters off.
Cools off. Yeah.
Type
yeah.
of, compared to like the veteran team. Not that neither of these teams are veteran teams, but I think the Patriots are a veteran coach team because Mike Vrabel and Josh McDaniels have been there so many times. They're almost going to be like, hey man, this is a 4-quarter game. You know, we're going to want to win this low scoring close, but not like get off to a super hot start and then cool off. Like,
Yeah,
I could see Seattle doing that, especially
Yeah.
with the special teams play. You know?
Yeah, and yeah, especially since Mike Vrabel, he's been there so many times, right?
Oh yeah.
As a player, but he 3 Super Bowls I think I read that he won with the Patriots.
Yeah, he won 3 as a player. I think
Yeah.
he played in 5, won
Yeah,
3.
and I guess he's going to be the first guy that can play and coach the same team
For the same
win.
team. Yeah.
So I'm like, that's pretty cool. So so I think just him, like you were saying, he has the mental fortitude. Like, hey, this is 4 quarters. Whereas, like, I don't know that McDonald, did he play football? I don't.
He may have played at a smaller college,
but
I don't.
Yeah.
He was with Baltimore before.
Yeah.
And Baltimore was kind of notorious for blowing their wad early, like in the regular season.
Yeah.
They get off to a hot start and then cool off in the playoffs and not
Exactly.
make the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
But it's going to be interesting. I think it's going to come down to which quarterback makes the fewer mistakes and which team runs the ball better on offense.
Yeah.
But I could also see Seattle getting a big special teams play and breaking it open. You know?
Exactly. And I do like, I mean, I'm always like I consider myself kind of an underdog, so I always like the underdog story. So the Sam Darnold story is just awesome, To me, I love that. I mean, I don't like the Seahawks, but whoever wins, I mean, it's, I'm really indifferent. I just don't like the Seahawks. But it'd be nice to see Sam Darnold, like, oh, I did change my, turn my career around.
Oh, for sure.
And change my stars.
It's a good story to teach people, like, just because you started out slow.
A bust.
At a bust doesn't mean you can't, reinvent yourself later.
Exactly. So
it's not the way you start, it's the way you finish.
Exactly.
Right? Yeah, it's kind of a double-edged sword because it's like, if Seattle wins as a Niner fan, then they win a Super Bowl in the Niners stadium. But if the Patriots win, right now the Patriots and the Niners are tied with 40 total all-time playoff wins each. So if the Patriots win now, they have 41. And they have 7 Super Bowls, and the Niners still have 5, so it's even harder to catch. You know what I mean? So it's one of those things where it's like, shit. Which is the
lesser of the two evils.
Lesser of the two evils. But either way, I think it's going to be an entertaining game.
It should be a good game, yeah, for sure.
I think it's going to be a lower scoring game. Like, I think it's going to be one of those games like each team scores like a touchdown each, but then there's going to be a lot of field goals. Probably like 22-16. Seattle, something like that.
Yep.
And one of the Seattle touchdowns will either be like set up with a big special teams play, or they just run the ball and kind of grind it out until they finally get down there. I just don't see the Patriots defense making like a big mistake like the Niners were making against Seattle because they were just so banged up with young people. You know?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but I think either way, I mean, it should be good. I'm not 100% sure if I'm even going to watch it, tell you the truth. I mean, yeah. I'll not like I normally would, like just be glued. I'll probably be just, in and out.
I find myself less glued nowadays too, even with the commercials and stuff, because the commercials drop now throughout the week, like on YouTube and stuff. So you could even see the commercials before the Super Bowl even hits.
Yeah.
And even like this year, with the halftime show and stuff, I'm kind of like, I knew who Bad Bunny was, like in Happy Gilmore 2 after the movie was over, but before that I didn't even know who that guy was, you know. I've never listened to any of his music or anything like that. So
I'm super heartbroken because I'm a big nerd for the Marvel, and I'm fucking so excited for the Super Bowl commercials for Doctor Doom.
Is that supposed to be released?
Yeah, the Doctor Doom trailer.
Oh, I didn't know that was going to be out.
Yeah, there's going to be a Doctor. Well, the movie doesn't come out until December.
But the trailer is being released.
The trailer.
Oh, that makes sense.
One of the trailers going to come out, and I was
I think there was a Spider-Man trailer coming out too. I think another Spider-Man movie.
New Spider-Man,
bringing all the guys
and it's
back
all
again.
Going to tie into the Fantastic Four and all that. I just was big into that as a kid, and like it was what helped me escape reality and life, superhero shit.
Yeah, for sure.
You know.
I get that.
Yep. But still to this day, I love it. My kids love it. We go, and so Doctor Doom's going to be badass.
Yeah, I can't believe they brought Robert Downey Jr. back to play that too.
I know.
Did he?
Here we go about the money and the, handing over the coach thing to his kid, or what you were talking about, the 49ers that owning the team.
Oh, yeah.
All that. It's like, it's money, bro. It's And you know what? The way they're going to do it, you'll see. I pay attention to it. There's going to be another Doctor Doom, another Wolverine. There's going to be new characters.
But Doctor Doom's going to be Robert Downey Jr.?
It already is.
Yeah, the actor.
You'll see the trailer today.
So they just kill off Iron Man and then bring it, or
so Iron Man died.
and then finish.
Just using the same actor to play.
It's gonna get crazy, dude.
Yeah, I mean it's a different character, but same dude.
You'll see. There's different universes.
So that's the way. Okay.
So he comes from a different
multiverse.
Yeah.
Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah, it's all too much for some people to.
As long as they can keep making money, they'll just keep doing it.
Yeah.
It's entertainment.
I mean, Robert Downey Jr., he's kind of a cool little underdog story, too. He got busted with a bunch of blow in the early whatever. And now
the older I get, though, the more I kind of look at guys like him, and I'm like, I think we should praise people kind of like me who have always been boring and kind of did the right thing. You know what I mean? Because years ago, it's like, he's kind of lame, but now people look at me and go, man, he's like really smart. You know? Like, he's never drank, never done drugs.
You know what, dude?
You know?
Hey, you youngsters out there, take heed. Pay attention to that. There's something that we're trying to say here. And once again, smart people learn from their mistakes, but brilliant people learn from other people's mistakes. That's wise wisdom from Coach Kyle right there.
Coach Kyle.
Yeah, that's that.
Oh, it is.
Let me give it the fucking hyphen.
You know what? You're totally right. I've never even looked at that. You're always like, there's an underdog story, but there's never that consistent.
Well, I've been preaching that on this podcast. Like I was the kid who went and fucking had to learn from my dad would tell me, don't do this, don't do that. They tell me, and I do it anyways, find out from the hard way. But then look, I'm the guy who has this stuff on my record that can't go get a good job or whatever, Things will work out. I'm just saying, you ruin it. You blow it for yourself.
Yeah.
I mean, think about like Hall of Fame voters when like offensive linemen are ready to go, right? People go, I kind of forgot about that guy. It's like, well, you forgot about him because he always did his job. And he was so good that the other guy in front of him couldn't do their job. You know what I mean? It's like, Trent Williams was kind of quiet today. It's like, was he? Because, Micah Parsons was in front of him and he didn't touch the quarterback all day. You probably didn't notice him, but that didn't mean he wasn't doing what he was supposed to be doing. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's just offensive line. Their name gets called when they fuck up, not when they do the thing right.
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
I'll tell you another thing, Coach Kyle. I'm done sitting around with chickens and sitting ducks, so it's nice to have an eagle at the table. Straight up, it's nice to sit around, and this is a topic with a lot of me and my friends right now. Like, hang around wholesome, good people that that you can learn from or whatnot. You hang around with 9 chickens, you'll be the 10th one.
Yep.
So
there you go.
It's nice having you today.
Yeah,
it was fun.
Yeah, very fun.
Fun getting by. I think Seattle's going to win 22-16.
Okay.
Do you really?
I think each team's going to score a touchdown.
Wait, hold on. This is
fest.
prediction right here. What'd you say? 22-16?
Yeah, 22-16 Seattle.
Okay.
I think each team will score a touchdown, and then it'll just be a lot of field goals
Says Coach.
And I think the MVP is either going to be somebody on defense that makes a big play,
What do you got, Matt?
or one of the kickers.
I'm going to give you guys. I go last. Third time's a charm.
I also think Seattle wins. Let's see. I'm going to go 27-17.
There you go.
You say Seattle?
Yeah, Seattle as well.
Okay, you ready for mine?
I mean, I don't want it to be that, but that's
Yeah.
what
Yeah. You're thinking logically,
what I'm
not with
thinking.
your feelings. Yeah, I know what you're saying.
All right, what are we doing? What are we doing?
I say F-U-C-K Seattle.
Yes.
I hope they lose, and I don't care how they lose. Just lose. Beat them, Patriots.
Yep.
Beat them for
There
the
you go.
49ers for me.
Hell yeah.
And I know that I'm going underdog.
Yep.
Yeah,
Underdog
Seattle's
in
a
it.
4.5 point favorite, so
Who is?
Seattle is.
It's 4.5.
So what do we win right here? No.
Do you guys do any or at work? Or wait, you're working for yourself now. I was going to say,
I'm
do you ever
very
do
lonely
like
at work.
Do you ever do the? Did you guys ever used to do like the
Pool?
squares or anything like
Okay,
that?
we did squares, and then we at Sierra we had a fantasy football, and I loved it, man. Every year it was like a lot. There was like 4 of us, and then it was just like Tim and Corey's family, the owners at Sierra. So it was just like it was so fucking fun. But yeah, once they fired me, they kicked me out of the league.
I fucking miss it. I just recently worked at the 5 Mile House as a cook, and my friend Amber told me that I have a paycheck there that I need to come pick up for like $100-something. So, but anyways, we played. I played that every weekend with Bill, man.
The squares?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
And
we do the
I
squares at
thought I was
UPS.
gonna
It's a lot
lose.
of
You know what
fun.
happened? I would have fucking won every single time if it wasn't for my son. It's my fault because I let Dublin pick. I'm like, he's smart. I think I'm gonna I'm gonna get my son Dublin over here, Mr. Smarty Pants, is telling me I think he's gonna help me win us some money. I said, hey, if we win, I'll split the money with you, and it's a $20 buy-in.
Yeah.
So
Like bet 20 win 100. or whatever.
yeah, or no more. A lot of people played.
Oh, shit, okay.
And so it could get nice little chunk. But anyways, every fucking thing he picked, I was like, no, it's a home game, visiting game. No. And sure enough, I should have stuck to my gut. No, I didn't. Little shit. But anyways, I missed that. Yeah. So all right, you
I gotta
guys.
pee.
Yep. Well, we're gonna here, ladies and gentlemen. We're gonna get. I have to go pick my daughter up. You ready, Matt? You ready to say goodbye? Go watch the Super Bowl.
I'm ready to go watch Super Bowl.
All right.
I got new brakes on my car too, though,
right.
so I don't know.
Brother, my hand is over the table.
Hey, thanks
nice
for
to
having
meet
me.
you,
It was
bro.
great
Yeah,
having
this
you,
was
Coach
fun.
Kyle.
Yeah,
I
man.
like doing these.
Yeah, dude. Oh, you. So we'll fill you in real quick. You can still come on anytime. This podcast will continue, bro. So come on. You'll probably have to reach out to Nathaniel or Matt or Gary or Max.
Yeah.
Max, I'm gonna hand it over to Max. He's hopefully that's still the plan. He's a gentleman, and I'm trying to run this in a positive way. By the way, grateful that you came today with your positive, intelligent. You blessed the mic with some good stories, good stuff, man. Thank you.
Nice.
Really
nice.
appreciate it, bro.
Yeah, I was glad to when I
Good
heard
episode.
about Matt being on it. I was like, oh, maybe I'll get a hold of him and see if I can't get on. So
Yeah, I'm
worked out
trying to
pretty good.
stay sober and just keep it a positive community, historical community podcast. Like anybody can really come on. You know, just not trying to cause no problems or nothing. And man, it's podcast for the listeners, man. So like it and subscribe. All right, brother. Well, you have a great day. Go
All right, you
Patriots. No, go 49ers. All right, ladies and gentlemen. Have a good day.